Good morning, Raptor Freaks. It's Tuesday morning, and we're doing Tuesday trivia this morning. And, well, this channel is very focused on the referees in the NBA. In fact, you guys should know a lot about the referees like I do. I was testing my trivia questions yesterday with Stevie Roots, and he doesn't pay attention to the referees. So he couldn't get any of the questions because, in some ways, the average NBA fan doesn't know jack shit about the referees. We do. And it's partly one of our specialties here that we know each individual ref in the NBA right now very, very specifically. And well, today I'm going to be questioning you guys on how much you've been paying attention to the ref report. And this will be a referee trivia today. It's going to be fun. We'll have to see how y'all do. And I'll be very proud of you guys, I'm sure, because you guys probably will know a lot of the answers. And I'm going to be very happy about that. But let's let a little bit of time pass so we can allow more people to come in to let's see, hang on, let me close this real quick. Let's allow people to come in and get ready for the trivia. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping before I start the questions, and then we'll start them very, very soon. First of all, let's see what Trevor J's saying here in the chat. He's saying your worth isn't measured by what you have, but how you treat each other. Treat others. We arrive with empty hands and leave with the same way. There you go. I mean, yeah, they bury the same, rich or poor. And in some ways, you know what? If you've made people's lives miserable on earth, well, you're a bad person. If you've made people's lives better while you've been on earth, well, then you're a good person. That's really basically the difference right there. And what's the net? Are you causing more misery, sadness, and difficulty for everyday people? Or are you causing easing and healing and helping for everyday people? That is a good way to judge people for it. I mean, not everybody's perfect, and there's going to be people who are going to be causing suffering in people's lives no matter what, because that's just an everyday thing. But if you lessen it, or you try not to do it as much as possible, but if you're just running ramshot over the world and causing suffering in all kinds of different ways, Galen Weston, well, you're not a good person. And in some ways, you're going to have to live with your legacy. And you can tell yourself some convoluted shit. Oh, I was a great grocery store magnate and I did so many good things. But no, you had a company handed down to you by your father, and you made it even more greedier and stingier so that children didn't have enough to eat. That's messed up. That's not a good person. No. And don't even get me started about people in politics in the United States right now. No, I don't. Yeah. Trevor's saying that Miami got swept by 52 points and Golden State's up 3-1. Yeah, the Warriors are giving credit to playoff Jimmy, saving the day. Draymond Green very openly saying, without Jimmy Butler, we would be toast and we would be nothing. And Jimmy Butler is the saving grace coming back from injury to play in the game last night to help the Warriors go up 3-1 over Fred VanVleet and the Houston Rockets. M.A. Adoka on the other side saying that consistency matters in the playoffs, and our consistency is not there right now. And he's blaming that for the loss for the Rockets in a tough game last night. Also, Miami swept out of the – or not – yeah, swept out of the playoffs last night. And Keeks from TSN, Statmeister, is saying that the plus-minus for the Cleveland-Miami series that just ended is the highest ever in the history of the NBA. They lost by a plus 152 or something like that. That's crazy, man. Yeah, Miami got their ass kicked bad by the Cleveland Cavaliers. That game was so ugly in the first quarter last night. People turned it off right away, and they knew that the Miami Heat were done for their season. And that's got to be agonizing for Heat Nation to sit through a whole 48 minutes of a game knowing your season's toast, and you guys just sit there and watch it and know that your season is done like that. What a horrible way to go out. Seriously. What a horrible way to go out. It's crazy. Fiercey's here. Yay. Good morning, fam. And happy Tuesday. It's trivia time, baby. Let's go, MJ. MJ, this is your bread and butter. In some ways, with Ahmed the GOAT out of here and some of the other strong trivia players, you are the strong trivia alpha in the trivia games right now. You're the one who has the most experience, and you're the fastest draw in the trivia world right now. That's right. She's quick. I'm telling you, Fiercey Salcera is quick. Look out. She's coming. She's coming to play today. She's saying M.A. Adoka is right. Jalen Green was red hot in the first half, then disappeared in the second half. This is why I never want players like Jalen Green on my team, is because they're half-assed. And I don't like players that can show up and disappear, like change like that. And Jalen Green's one of those guys. That's why I would never build a team with Jalen Green in mind, because in some ways he's not the kind of player build or player type that I like on a team. He's just not. Once again, he's a guy who has to have a lot of usage, and well, you better hope he's hitting a shot, because if he isn't, he's going to sink your team. In some ways, that's the Bradley Beal kind of shit that he does. So yeah, people love the talent, the athleticism, the fun of the youth of Jalen Green, but I've never bought into it. I've never liked it, never once since he's been a rookie. I know he's best friends with Scott. I respect him because of Scott, but that's it. I don't respect his game. I think that he's an amazing dunker. I think that just like Mac McClung, there's something for that. But winning basketball is not for that. He's not a winning basketball player. And in some ways, he will sink the Rockets like he did last night. It's too bad. It's too bad. You just need more consistent players, MA. And Jalen Green, he's a shadow of the old Rockets. That's what it is. 2 years ago, Jalen Green fit in with those Rockets. This Rocket team that's rocketing up into the playoffs now, Jalen Green don't fit on it anymore. And the front office may want to trade him for some value. Maybe even get a veteran, a real role player instead of him, because in some ways he's not even necessary on this team at this point. They needed him for scoring punch and just the ability to score for a while, but they don't need that anymore. No, they don't need him anymore. In fact, he's probably taken away more than he's giving to the Rockets at this point. I don't know what kind of defensive player he is. If he was more well known as a really top-notch defensive player, maybe I'd give him more credit, but he isn't. He is not. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying Adebayo with his towel hiding his face must have been such an embarrassing loss. That man been there the longest. That man's his team. He's seen the whole ride of it. And in some ways, that's the thing, man. When you're a player on a team for a long, long time and you see the highs and the lows, you go through the highs. You go through really, really good highs, going to the finals, competing for a championship, but you never won a championship. Bam Adebayo has been on that roller coaster with Miami. And at this point, he may be like, you know what? Let me off. That's what happens. This is one of the phenomena that happened with Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby with our team. They went to the pinnacle very early in their young careers and got a championship with the Raptors. And then they suffered through some very seriously hard years in the NBA. And well, it's just the shine in the fight it's tough because you went through highs and lows. And the lows are where you are closer to now. And in some ways, you remember the highs and you don't remember you're how are we going to get back there? You don't know. So I wouldn't, if I was Bam Adebayo, if I was Giannis Antetokounmpo, if I was Nikola Jokic, I would be maybe thinking about, wow, the highs we were at a couple of years ago, and look at the lows we're at now. Where are we going as a franchise? It's just getting worse. Maybe it is time to shuffle up and deal and rebuild. Yeah. I mean, Bam's got to be thinking that in some ways, hiding his face under a towel, right? He's got to be thinking that in some ways. Fiercely saying, but I really like Sengun and Adams. They have great fundamentals on boxing out, rebounding, protecting the rim. Sengun also has great footwork. Fred VanVleet started off cold, but he rallied the last 2 quarters. That's our guy, Fred. We know that. Fred can be bad the whole game and then all of a sudden show up right at the end. All right, y'all. No more comments right now. I'm going to try and do the trivia as soon as we get to the end of the comments, guys, because it looks like we got a good little crew here right now. Cool Cat's here. Good morning to the coach. Cool Cat. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. The NBA is in good hands after these superstars move on. I agree with this. I really do. I see Fred VanVleet's 3-point shooting was point on when in desperation mode last night. Glad he was able to. Our original bench mob really making me proud around the league. The Cool Cats brought up something that somebody posted a thing, and I posted in our Discord, that people are starting to realize that the generation of stars is about to change, that LeBron is going to be gone soon. Steph Curry, James Harden, Paul George, Dame Lillard. This generation of stars is not long for this league anymore. It's going to be changing of a guard. And, well, I'm not going to be upset about this. Some people may be nostalgic about this generation of NBA stars, but I'm not. In fact, I feel like they ruined the product the most of the time that they were there. And I'm be glad for them to leave. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and their whole little crew. Yeah, I'm going to be glad they're gone because I'm more excited about the new generation of SGA, Victor Wembanyama, and Scotty Barnes. And I'm sick of LeBron's being the leader of the whole league as far as being the figurehead and stuff like that. He's been a piss poor leader overall for this league. And in some ways, the NBA product went down in quality over the tenure of this cohort of players that is going to be leaving out of the league soon. And in some ways, I see more promise and professionalism and way to play basketball correctly in the youth guys that are coming up than the generation that's about to cede the power of being in charge of this league. So I do not cry a tear over this. We've got our time with these guys. We've seen them enough. Let them go off in the pasture, and let's give the young guys, the next generation, a chance. Because I have a feeling that generation is going to be one that I'm going to enjoy watching way more than the one that's been around the last 20 years, pretty much LeBron's whole career. I have not enjoyed this era of the NBA, even though the Raptors won a championship and they've had their most successful period in the history of their franchise. The best eras of the basketball were 80s and 90s. And, well, I'm hoping going forward in the 2020s late and 2030s, we're going to have much better quality basketball, team-oriented basketball, without this superstar bullshit that LeBron James and them did the years that they were in the best players in the league. Because this superstar bullshit and easy ways out, it really ruined the league for competitiveness and the thought that people actually give a shit about trying hard in the NBA. Y'all made it look lazy, LeBron. And, well, guys like SGA, guys like Scotty Barnes, they don't make it look lazy. And I'm ready to see the youth of the league understand balancing with team game and personal excellence and working very hard in the league. Because I'm telling you right now, LeBron's generation was lazy as fuck in a couple of different ways, and I'm sick of them. So they can ride off in the pasture. I'm ready for them to leave. That's the way I feel about that. Sorry to say that so harshly. And I know young people may hear me saying that, but these are our guys. These are the guys I grew up on. And I'm like, yeah, but listen, you don't know anything otherwise. You will when this next generation comes up and shows you that they're hardworking and they're doing it for the right reasons. Because that's the problem. A lot of the players that were in LeBron's generation didn't do things for the right reasons in this league. They didn't do things for the right reasons like Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas did before them. And, well, I'm really hoping that Victor, SGA, and Scotty will do things for the right reasons. Seems like Scotty is. That's for damn sure. Seems like SGA is. That's for damn sure. Maybe not John Morant. Maybe not Zion Williamson. Maybe there are a few knuckleheads still that are kind of like the last generation. But there's more really good players that are doing it for the right reasons right now. And that's what I like. That's what I like right now. That's right. That's what I like. Trevor J saying Charles Barkley talk about him. Said he too talented. What? Do not have an impact in the game. Who are you talking about? Charles Barkley talked about him. Said he's too talented. Does not have an impact on the game. Who? Fred VanVleet? Who's he talking about? Put the proper word in there. Don't put he in there. You got to put said this person too talented, because I don't know who you're talking about, Trevor. Let's see. Fiercely saying Rockets fans who kept saying Fred's presence was hindering Green's development, go sit somewhere. Fred stepped up yesterday, but his playoff experience won the game. Udoka should have had the other vets play. Jeff Green. Yeah, I won't disagree with that. You know, you're saying Steven Adams is playing good, tough defense up front with Sengun. You say you got Fred showing up late to hit big shots to try and help them at the end. I'm sure Dylan Brooks was chipping in his veteran defense and chippiness and what he does and adds to the edge. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, I would say they don't need Jalen Green because they've got Thompson. Yeah. In some ways, forget about Jalen Green. Ship him out, Houston, and give more time to your Thompson twin, because that guy can play the same position as him, and he's bigger, and he's more defensive, and he gives you way more out of everything. You want nice dunks? You want kind of goofy highlights? Sure, Jalen Green's great. Maybe you should go play with LaMelo in Charlotte. Nah, you want to win. MA wants to win. Fred wants to win. You need to get winning type players. Jalen Green's not a type player that wins. No, because he's a showman. And in some ways, he is not playing for the right reasons. There you go. He is not playing for the right reasons. Cool Cat saying Fred VanVleet, OG Pascal made a Raptors team competitive with other team starters. The failures occurred with the bench, would lose the lead. Yeah, I completely agree with this. You know, when Doug Smith asked, why the hell did the Raptors not win when they had Dennis Schroeder, OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, and Pascal Siakam, and still on the team? Why did they not win? Because, first of all, we had a new coach who was trying everything new. We had a lot of different transitions still going on. In some ways, Siakam and OG, the writing was on the wall. They're gonna have to leave. So it's like it is what it is. In some ways, that is a big factor, though. The bench quality was horrible, and we needed more solid young players coming up, like we do now. We definitely have that now, and that's a big part of it right there. That's a big part of it right there. Fiercely saying, even when LeBron retires, he'll get votes for the All-Star. That's hilarious. I'm gonna give you a dunk for that. That's hilarious. MJ, you are funny. That is a funny joke. Even when he retires, he's gonna get votes for the All-Star. That's hilarious. 39 on the dunk chart for you. Fiercely Salt Sarah. Hilarious. So she's got that cutoff for trivia time. Randolph's gonna come in and do the blessings real quick. Election victory day, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. When by faith you fight for what is right and best for progress and success, such victory is sweet and rewarding. Yes, very, very pleased with the Canadian federal election yesterday. It went very, very well. I mean, there's a couple of things. I don't want to be nitpicky or weird or anything. There is a little bit of gains for the Conservatives, but not really. The whole thing is that the Prime Minister is Mark Carney, and it continues to be Mark Carney today. And that's really, really, really important. You know, some people are lamenting the demise of some of the NDP stuff, but listen, let's not get it twisted. NDP did not get hurt last night. I'm still NDP, but I knew that I needed to vote red yesterday. I knew I needed to. So don't get overexcited and weird about the new Democratic Party, new Democratic Party people. Sure, we lost seats. Sure, Jagmeet's going to step down, but this change is important. And this is the thing. If Mark Carney's serious about proportional government, he will implement this, and there will be a better seat at the table for the NDP in the future because of it, because that's what it is, proportional. And we want to see the proportions of this country, whether it's orange, red, or blue, represented correctly for once. So Mark Carney, don't go back on your election promise. Let's get into representative government proportionally, because that is the next stage to ensuring democracy to another level. And listen, you guys won't get that hurt for it, liberals. You really, really won't. Because listen, yeah, y'all wondering where NDP went. NDP went red because they knew they couldn't afford to fucking allow the Conservatives to win by splitting the vote with the liberals. So for once, strategic voting came in full effect, and everybody got the memo, and they came out in full effect, and they did their job. And I appreciate the country of Canada making a mandate and showing we are not for sale. We are not trying to have Maple MAGA Poilievre in charge up here. And the rejection of him, the very strong rejection. In fact, he lost his riding. That's how rejected he is. He's not even going to be a member of parliament going forward because they kicked his ass out in Carleton. So, yeah, this is a very successful election. It makes me feel good about my country. It makes me feel strong and proud of Canada. And listen, all the issues we have with Mark Carney and the Liberals, well, we'll work them out with them now as part of our government. Because listen, don't get it twisted. NDP didn't go nowhere. I'm NDP still. But I knew the smart choice was Mark Carney and the Liberals because we needed to stop Pierre. And we did that. We did it successfully. And I'm really, really appreciative of this. In some ways, I wanted to test the democracy of Canada to see if it's rigged or not yet. If there had been some weird ass shit where Poilievre somehow, some way won this fucking thing last night, I would have been like, there's some weird shit going on. Now, it's crazy, the switch. Like, Poilievre did have a huge lead, like just a couple months ago. But you know what? Trump completely destroyed him. Completely destroyed him. It's like the timing of the U.S. going crazy with their fascism was very, very detrimental to Pierre. Because it's like they kind of showed us the preview of what he would do up here if he was put in charge. So we're like, no, we can't even have this be a chance that Pierre Poilievre starts to try and be a fascist dictator up here in Canada like Donald Trump is. So there you go. That's how it goes down right there. That's how it goes down right there. Thank you, Randolph, for your words of wisdom. And it's totally true. You know, that we fight for what's right and what is for progress and success and for the people. We hopefully get what we want. And we did yesterday. Thank God. Thank God. I believe Mark Carney is going to be a fantastic prime minister. He's going to do a good job standing up to Trump and the United States, and he's going to help strengthen Canada more and more as time goes on. And I do believe him that he's going to help our economy. So, because he's an economist, why wouldn't he? Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freaks families. That's right. Trevor's saying he was speaking about Jalen, so talented, but does not have an impact on the game. Okay, so he's saying that about Jalen Green. He's very talented, but he doesn't have an impact on the game. Yep. I mean, I called that the whole time with him. Once again, I know player types. And sometimes guys are just extremely talented, athletic, and fun to watch. You know what? Go join the Harlem Globetrotters because that's the kind of work you should be doing, Mac McClung and Jalen Green. Go join the Harlem Globetrotters. How about that? Because that may be what you need to be doing. That's not real basketball. Real basketball is team basketball that wins in passing and defense. And being a dunk artist, a high flying guy that can just get up there and do goofy shots and stuff like that, yeah, that doesn't win basketball. That's talent, sure. Like Charles is saying, that's talent, but that doesn't win. That does not win. Cool Cat's saying you can see it with other teams. You need more than a superstar. You need depth on the bench to win. This is the Adam Silver's new NBA that I love. Like, seriously, in some ways, you really could buy championships before just by getting 4 superstars on your team. And then, like, boom, we have 4 superstars. And it didn't even matter if the rest of the team was that good. Well, it's more of a team game, and you need to be 10 deep. You need to have a decent rotation that has different role players that fill the gaps on different jobs that you need at this point. And I appreciate that the NBA has gotten back to this because this is the way it used to be. This is the way it was in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, that you had to have a deep rotation of about 10 guys that you could call on just in case. Well, at a certain point, people started doing superstar teams, three-headed monsters, 4 superstars on some teams, and they got lazy, and they just wanted to rely on names on a sheet with star power and not necessarily building the puzzle pieces right. That's exactly it right there. Smooth's here. Good to see Reggie. The bright lights of the playoffs, man. The Rockets are realizing this. Warriors savvy play and know-how on the second round. Yeah. I mean, that is kind of what happened. It's not over yet, though. They're not done completely yet. The Rockets still have life. They're not eliminated yet. It's 3-1. 3-1. All right, you guys want to do the trivia? Let's do the trivia. You guys, it's ref trivia. This is funny. This is funny. We're doing the referee trivia today. All right, all names will be worth 100 points for today. So if you get the name, you get 100 points. First one to write in the full name answer gets the trivia points. Now, this is going to be varying degrees of difficulty. Some of these will be very easy, and some of these will be very hard. So let's see who's been paying attention to my ref report and knows who the different refs are. Question number 1. Who is the extender? Who is the extender? Write in the full name of this referee, and we get this. Yeah, who is the extender? Seymour's saying it's raining hard here, almost like the province is crying. I love it. I'm not lib. I'm not con. I'm for what's right. Canada first. Well, you could be NDP. Let's be NDP, my guy. Orange Party, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Seymour. Yeah, your province has like 2 seats that are liberal, and it's all blue otherwise. And, well, the next stage is, well, Danielle Smith's probably going to start talking about wanting to leave Canada in the next little while. We'll see how that all goes over as far as things. It's traitorous is what it sounds like to me. Listen, Alberta, you guys are weird, man. You guys are very weird. And you know what? Let's work at this thing out, seriously, because you know what? You're a part of our country. We love you guys. You may not love us. You may hate Ontario, but we love you guys, okay? And stop being so hateful towards your own people. Seriously, stop moving in hate, conservatives in this country. Stop moving in hate. Let go of this MAGA bullshit. We're Canadians. We don't do MAGA, right? So any of y'all Canadians out there cosplaying as MAGA, like our dumbass friend Tada, just put out the outfit and come back to being Canadian and give up your MAGA fuckface shit. Is what I'll say right there. That's right. Chloe saying, morning, Lex and Raptors Freak family. We did it. PP blew a 3-0 lead. Yeah, he was up big. And the polls, it's crazy, the turn of events, to see the swing of just how Carney just barely got on top of him and above him in this election. It's fantastic. Fantastic stuff. I'm really proud of Canada. I'm really proud of the turnout. And I'm really proud that people came to their senses and understood what was best for our country is this. And they didn't fall for any of the hateful rhetoric, all the bullshit, the misinformation coming from American news sources, interference from Russian bots, all kinds of shit could have derailed our election. But Canada was smart, and they stuck to their guns, and they understood with critical thinking and higher education, better educated people on the average in Canada than the United States, and we got our election right, whereas the states fucked theirs up last year. And, well, that's it right there. Trevor's saying it's Scott Foster, and he's right. The extender is Scott Foster. I would have given you guys more clues if you were going to stumble on this, but Scott Foster is the extender. Who's going to be the extender since Scott's out on injury? I wonder who's going to extend these series. We'll have to see who's involved in the Lakers series going out now. Who's going to be the crew chief for the Lakers series? Are they going to be the extender because they want to extend that series to help the Lakers squeeze every last drop of Luka and LeBron out for the whole season because they're going to be going out the next time they lose? Yeah, they don't have Scott Foster to do this. Yeah, the extender. That is his unofficial nickname, just so y'all know. Good job, Trevor J. Getting the first one. All right, second question, referee trivia. He is the karaoke king. He is the karaoke king. We love this man. He is the karaoke king. Who is the karaoke king? I've talked about this on the Ref Report. We know who it is. Fiercey knows it's Bill Kennedy. Of course, our favorite Bill Kennedy, one of the best refs in the league, one of the nicest men refereeing in the NBA today, the best delivery at the challenge mic. Bill Kennedy is just smooth, and he is the karaoke king. And Fiercey knows that. Yeah, the karaoke king. He looks like a singer too. Yeah, doesn't he have like the look? In some ways, his hairstyle is kind of like old school's 50s kind of style with that mustache. And he looks like he would be like singing in like a band with Desi Arnaz or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I Love Lucy's husband, Ricky. He's in like Ricky's band as the backup singer. Oh, Ricky, where are you going? Oh, Lucy, I got to go to band practice. Bill Kennedy's going to be there singing with me. Oh, okay, Ricky. Okay, Ricky. Yeah, I feel like he's from that era. That he'd be in black and white with Desi Arnaz on the Lucy show. And he'd be like singing with Desi as one of his singers with him. Isn't that kind of funny? That's kind of funny right there. You know what I'm talking about right there. All right, next question. He eats fried croakers. He eats fried croakers. Seymour, we're doing the trivia right now. He eats fried croakers. Who eats them fried croakers? That's right. What happened to that one ref that Luka was flirting with? She was okay at her job. Most refs are scum. That's not right. I like the refs more and more as I do this project. Honestly, seriously, there's more good refs than bad refs. I'm not going to lie. I've looked into this very deeply over the last 4 years. And the referees are actually really good in the NBA. There's a couple of bad apples for sure. But for the most part, they do a good job. I'm not going to lie. They really do. Luka is a married man. That's right. Luka's a married man. But he was flirting a little bit with the ref one time. Or the ref had goo-goo eyes for him. I think that's what it was. Like there was a ref that made looks at him. They're like, oh, get somebody who will look at you like this. And it was like the referee looking at Luka. Yeah. What are croakers? Fried croakers. Who likes to eat fried croakers? Yeah, this is something we talked about a lot. Like there, yeah, that ain't stopped most people. I know Luka, but listen, man, Luka's got a young family. Like he just had a baby, like in the last year or so. It's usually not happening around then. Seymour, come on now, and he's a high-profile guy. I don't know. His wife's probably very attractive and it's good enough for him too. Also, so it's like I don't know about this, man. What are croakers? Oh my gosh, croakers are actually a fish. They're not actually a frog. You'd think that they're a frog because they're called fried croakers, but no, they're a fish out of the Mississippi River. That's what I'll say right there. They're a fish that live in the Mississippi River. You got to catch them out of the old man river. That's right. Courtney Kirkland? No, that's not who this is. Courtney Kirkland is a cyborg. He does not eat any fish. He's just like Kawhi. He's the same species. Cyborg ref. Courtney Kirkland, no emotions, robot circuitry, straight from Westworld. Courtney Kirkland. If you see Courtney Kirkland driving the little truck, you know that he's like, yeah, there we go. Seymour's got it. And he's called him a very funny name, Tony Brobro. Tony Brobro. Tony Brobro. It is Tony Brothers. Yes, it is. He does eat the fried croakers. That's right. He is the picture for the Ref Report trivia today. So, yeah, Tony Brothers is the answer for the fried croakers. That's right. Seymour, thank you for getting that. That was pretty fun. All right, guys, here we go. Both Fred and Darko cussed this referee before. Yeah, we know who this is. Both Fred VanVleet and Darko Rajakovic have cussed this referee in the last Ben Taylor. Yeah, Fiercey's going to get that one. That's right. Yeah, of course. It's like Darko say if they are going to choose the Lakers going to win, why do we even fucking show up to the game? Fred VanVleet said, that guy has a personal problem with me. I don't know what his deal is. What is your problem, Ben Taylor? And he still has a problem with him in Houston. Y'all, seriously, that problem moved with Fred from Toronto to Houston. Seriously, Rockets fans, if you ever have Ben Taylor and Fred's playing, you know that that's an issue. Just so y'all know, Houston Rockets fans. Just so y'all know, there is an issue there. There is an issue there. Of course, Fiercey going to get this one right away. Ben Taylor, the answer. All right, here we go. He is Star Wars fan. Who is the Star Wars fan? The super fan of Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. He likes Star Wars. Do, 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 do. That's right. That's right. How you write it before the question. Who wrote it before the question? She's just really fast typer. That's what I'm saying, Seymour. Your eye candy is skilled, is very versatile. It's like fingers of lightning. Brandon Adair is the Star Wars fan? No, it's not Brandon Adair. That's a good guess. Brandon Adair is not Star Wars fan. The guy who loves the movies and the books. You know you love Star Wars if you're reading Star Wars books. In fact, this referee's number is 77 because that's the year that Star Wars came out. That's the whole reason why his referee number is 77, is because that is the year that his favorite movie came out. That's right. Fierce is going to name them all. Fierce is going to name all the refs until she gets it. That's fine. That's fine. Klingon lover, not me. Klingons, no, that's Star Trek. No, don't get your science fiction mixed up here. Yeah, Michael Smith. No, it's not Michael Smith. Old head Michael Smith is not Star Wars lover. No, this guy's a nerd, man. This guy loves Star Wars so much. Not only that, this guy was also a detention teacher. And for a while, he was doing the Breakfast Club. That's right. He was that teacher who made them sit in the cafeteria on Saturday and watch them, this bad students in detention. Yeah, he did that job for a little while. So he was like, don't you forget about him, y'all, because he is Star Wars lover Breakfast Club. That's right. Josh Tiven. That's not right either. That's not right either. You guys got a couple of answers in here. I might have to give y'all a little bit of clue about their name so that you can get it. If y'all don't remember who Star Wars lover is, Marat Kugat. There you go. We're hitting them. That's right. We're hitting them. That's not right, Trucker Kaz. Good morning to you, sir. Good to see you in the Raptor Freak chat this morning once again. Yeah, it's not Marat Kugat. Yeah, I hate that guy, by the way. I hate Marat. It's not that guy. Yeah, you guys want a clue for the name? I'll do that. The person's first name is the same first name as my brother. I don't know if you guys know my brother's name. It's the same first name as my brother. And the last name is the same last name as a Beatles song about a girl named Penny. And that'll be it right there. Yeah. Bill Kennedy's already been an answer. Ed Malloy is not right, Trevor. It is not Ed Malloy. Yeah. So, yeah, the first name is the same name as my little brother, which if you guys pay attention, there you go. Fiercey got it. It's Carl Lane. Carl Lane. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my heart. Do, 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 do. Yeah. And that my brother's name is Carl. Yeah. So Fiercey got it. It's Star Wars lover Carl Lane. Carl Lane will be refereeing tonight. And I will have the ref report immediately after the ref trivia to tell you about the proclivities of the ref crews for the 4 games tonight in the NBA playoffs and who they are favoring tonight. That's right. All right, next question, guys. Who are the brothers that are referees right now? That's right, Carl Lane. Make sure you're live, Stargate. Make sure you're live. Hit that live button because you're a little behind there. It is Carl Lane. It's the Star Wars lover. So who are the 2 brothers in the NBA? Who are the 2 brothers in the NBA? There's 2 brothers that are reffing in the NBA right now. Who are the 2 brothers? You get 200 points for getting both of them, 100 for each. So give me the names of the 2 brothers that are currently NBA referees together at the same time in the NBA right now. Yeah. And I could say one of them was a cop, and they're both from Miami. How about that? Those are a little bit of insight clues. Who are the brothers referees right now? That's all good. You just entered. That's cool, man. You're here. There's still more than half of the trivia to go, and they're each worth 100. Jason Goebel is one of them. Yes, Seymour's got one of the brothers right there. Seymour, you got one of them. Give me the other brother then. You got one of them. Who's the other brother, Seymour? You got that first one. Oh, look at the time. What's that? John Goebel. That's right. Seymour's going to get both of them. Jason and John Goebel of Miami are the 2 brothers Goebel, and they are referees in the league. That's right. One of them's reffing tonight. One of them is reffing tonight. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the Goebel brothers. That's the answer. All right, next question. Who is Drake Lover? Who is the Drake Lover? Who is Drake Lover? He says his favorite artist is Drake, and I always call him Drake Lover. Who is the Drake Lover of the referees? Which one is the Drake Lover? Let's see. And I'll give you all some clues if you can't figure it out. I'm not fans of him either. You're not fans of the Goebels? Yeah, the Goebels can kind of be punk asses. You know, One of them was a Miami-Dade cop for like 10 years. So, I mean, Miami-Dade's not LAPD, but, they're a little similar in some ways. Let's see. Who is Drake Lover? Who is the fan of Drake that I always call Drake Lover? This referee is Drake Lover. Let's see. What's a good clue for this? You guys give me a couple names. Ray Acosta? No, Ray Acosta like Scarface and The Sopranos and all things Italian, being an Italian ref from New Jersey. Yeah, Ray Acosta. No, it's not Ray Acosta. Who's Drake Lover? Who is a big fan of Drake's? And I've called him Drake Lover in the ref report in the past. Who is the Drake Lover? That's right. That's right. Let's see. His last name is the same as maybe one of the greatest wide receivers in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. That's a good guess, I guess. His last name is the same as probably the greatest wide receiver in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. Right there. Grady Dick. What? Grady Dick? No, he's not Drake Lover. He's Grady. Grady's funny. Like I saw that little clip that Trevor posted about him in Kansas saying that like the D comment. That was so cringe. Man, Grady. Phrasing. Grady. Phrasing, Mr. Michelin. Mr. Michelin. No, all right, y'all. The last name, probably the greatest wide receiver in the history of the Dallas Cowboys NFL franchise. The greatest, the most decorated wide receiver in the history of the Dallas Cowboys ever is his last name. And his first name is the last name of one of our Raptors coach of the year. Yeah, one of our Raptors coach of the year. His last name is his first name. So that should be able to give you the clues right there. The last name of one of our coaches of the year in the history of our Raptors is the first name of this referee. And their last name is probably the greatest. Yeah, Mitchell Irvin's right. Seymour's got it. It's Mitchell Irvin, Sam Mitchell, Michael Irvin, right? Of the Cowboys, Super Bowl Cowboys with Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, right? So yeah, Seymour's on it today. Seymour's getting these refs. Seymour knows his refs. I like this. All right. Who, according to Alvin Williams, is twinning with Vince Carter as a referee? Who, according to Alvin Williams, is twinning with Vince Carter as a referee in image and look? Who looks like Vince Carter to Alvin out of the refs? Yeah, Bill Kennedy's not right. Yeah, they said it in the one of the broadcasts this year. Alvin Williams said when this ref was out on the court, he said, "Oh, I thought you were on the court." Eric Dalen? That's funny, Kaz. It's not Eric Dalen. Richard Jefferson. Now, Richard Jefferson did ref for a second as a publicity stunt, but he's not really an NBA ref. Come on now, Seymour. But the same hairstyle. You got to think about it. Yeah, same kind of hairstyle. And Alvin was funny. He's like, I thought that was you, man. I thought that was you out there on the court, Vince. And it's like, no, that's not me, man. You know who that is. And it's like, man, I don't even like that guy, Alvin. Why are you making me sound like I'm him? It's like, yeah, Vince was funny. He didn't like this ref. He didn't like Alvin comparing him to him. And he said that he had problems with him when he played. So, yeah, Raptors have had problems with this ref before. So think about this, y'all. Who would look like Vince Carter from behind? And Alvin Williams would say, ooh, that ref is you. He's your twin. He was so mean to Vince this year on the broadcast. I was here for it. In some ways, that's part of the reason why I like Vince again. He showed humility because Alvin Williams was able to bust his balls during the games they called, and it was fine. Mark Davis is right. Stargate's got it. It was Mark Davis who that Alvin said that Vince was twinning with, and Vince didn't like that. He's like, man, me and Mark Davis don't get along, man. It was Mark Davis. Kaz, you're just behind. Seymour, you're just behind. Stargate, the man who beat the machine, is got it right. There you go. Yeah, Mark Davis is right. Joey Crawford, what are you going way back there, man? I don't even think Joey Crawford's still ref. See, I don't think he's refed in like 10, 15 years, man. Seriously. I knew his look, but I couldn't remember the name. Yeah, Mark Davis, of course, screwed us over in Sacramento like 10 years ago. Absolutely stole a game from us and admitted that he got it wrong, similar to the New York-Detroit thing on this weekend where the Raptors got robbed in a game. We absolutely got a game stolen from us personally by Mark Davis. And then he had the audacity afterwards to say he did get it wrong and that the call should have been right. But we didn't get the win. They didn't change nothing. So, all right, next question on ref trivia. A little bit different today. Who is the lawyer? Who is the lawyer? I have like these guys labeled like Canterbury's Tales, like Chaucer. Chaucer has all these chapters in the Canterbury Tales. Is like the lawyer, the golfer, the fried croaker. It's like that. There's the baker, the butcher. There are different stories in the Canterbury Tales. Well, who's the lawyer when we're talking about referees in the NBA? Which one was a lawyer? That's right. Joey Crawford, Dick Bavetta, Earl Strom. Earl Strom. You said Earl Storm, but it's Earl Strom. Yeah, those are some of the greatest refs ever. Earl Strom and Dick Bavetta in particular, two of the absolute greatest refs in the history of the NBA ever, 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 ever. Totally two of the best. Earl Strom is a legend. And Dick Bavetta, holy crap. Don't even get me started on Dick Bavetta as a ref. Seriously, Joey Crawford's important too. But those other two guys are more important. Who is the lawyer, y'all? Which one of the refs is a lawyer and does lawyering still on the side while he's refereeing also? he can defend you pro bono. That's right. Courtney Kirkland. No, once again, he's a cyborg. He is of Kawhi Leonard's ilk, emotionalist, circuitry, runs on electricity, no food. Yeah, that is Courtney Kirkland. Yeah, Mark Lindsay. No, it's not Mark Lindsay. These are good guesses. No, this is a ref, and I don't know. I'll give you guys clues, I guess, on their name as you guys guess more. Their first name is the last name of the main character on the UK Office. Okay, their first name is the last name of the main character on the UK Office, which is Ricky Gervais's character. So if you know his last name on the UK Office, not the American Office with Steve Carell, but Ricky Gervais's character on The Office, if you know his last name, you've got the first name of this referee. Yeah, autocorrect. You got autocorrect going on here. Yeah, that's all right. Earl Storm. Yeah, I guess it would autocorrect Strom to Storm. Yeah, I guess it would. He's not in the Fantastic Four. No, he's not. No. All right. So let's see. Who is the lawyer? Their first name is the last name of Ricky Gervais's UK office. Yeah. UK office. Yeah, I know. You're gonna go deep on this. I don't even know how to do a clue for his last name. I really don't. So it's really, you guys are gonna have to get the first name, and then you'll kind of figure it out after that. Let's see. Yeah, you're just gonna peep. Yeah, you guys could, if you really need to, go look at it. Go look at the UK Office and the character that Ricky Gervais name, because this one may be one of the harder questions today. I figured y'all wouldn't just know who the lawyer is, but the lawyer, in some ways, he's not that important. There you go. Fiercey got it. Brent Barnecki is the lawyer, and Fiercey's going to get this one. She looked it up. I know she did, but that's fine. I don't care. In some ways, we were stalling out a little bit there. Brent Barnecki is the lawyer. That's right. You'll remember that now. All right. Who's the golfer? Yeah, who is the golfer? This guy's a PGA professional golfer, like not an amateur. He's a pro. He's an actual PGA golfer who's golfed on the PGA Tour, and he's also a referee. Which one of the refs is this? He's also a former Navy officer. He was in the Navy, and he's an officer. You watch the US Office, not the UK. Yeah, I watched both of them because in some ways the UK one, I wanted to see what the differences were and what the similarities were. And of course, the UK Office came out before the US Office. So it's kind of interesting to see how they adapted it. And the characters are the same. It's just they have different names and different actors. So it's kind of interesting. Derek Stafford. Randolph is saying the golfer is Derek Stafford. That is not correct. Who is the golfer? The PGA professional golfer that is a referee in the NBA. He's also a former Navy officer. He's military, and he was in the Navy, and he's an officer. And the NBA was very thankful towards him for his service on Veteran Days and stuff like that. Curtis Blair is a good guess. It's not right. It's not Curtis Blair. Let's see. I'll give you a clue. His first name is the same first name as our play-by-play announcer. The last name, I don't know how to get that for you guys. That's a little tough again. But the first name is the same first name as our play-by-play announcer. Tyler Ford is not right. Matt Boland is right. Stargate got it. Boland. is the golfer. He is the golfer and the Navy official, the officer and a gentleman. Officer and a gentleman. It's not Tyler Ford, though. I love Tyler Ford, though. He's one of my favorites. I love Tyler Ford. I really do. All right, guys, who's the tight end? Now, don't make any jokes here. I know that there's certain refs that have nice ends, but who is the tight end? Who is the tight end? Meaning they played tight end football-wise, and they played in the league. I don't know if they got drafted to the NFL. They were known for playing tight end at their University of Minnesota. And yeah, who is the tight end? Eric Dalen's right. Kaz remembers this, I think, because I talked about Eric Dalen this year and told everybody he played football and he's the tight end. And I think that Kaz is like, you know what? Eric Dalen's one of my favorite refs. He's actually a really good ref. I think I remember that. Isn't he like, you were like, Eric Dalen's solid. He is solid. He's very good to the Raptors. He is. As soon as I said he has the same name as our announcer, I got it. There you go. Yeah, Matt. Easy then. Matt Boland. You remembered Matt Boland. That's good that you remembered the last name, Stargate. And he's your favorite ref? Eric Dalen's your favorite ref, Kaz? That's cool, man. Yeah, he's like 6'7". He's a big dude, a very, very big dude. And I believe he's reffing tonight. Either that or he's in Secaucus. All right, guys. Next question on the referee trivia. Y'all enjoying the referee trivia? Ben Taylor was already an answer, Trevor. It was already an answer, yeah. All right, who are the married couple that are refs in the NBA? There's a married couple that are refs in the NBA right now. I think that the wife is not reffing actively, though, at this time. I think that she's not reffed in a couple years, but she is technically an NBA ref, and her husband is still reffing right now. So who are the two referees that are married to each other in the NBA right now? Yeah, let's see if we can get this one. I'll give you guys some clues with a couple of guesses in on the names so that we can get there. Yeah, we can get there. No. Nobody knows who the refs that are married. And when I asked this question to Steve last night, he said, "Oh, there two of the male refs are married, the gay marriage." I'm like, "No, bro, there's female refs. Come on, man, you know that, right?" "Oh yeah, there are female refs." Yeah, duh. Steve, come on now. Yeah, there's one question that Steve got right, but he couldn't remember the name, but he knew who it was, and it's coming up. I'll let you guys know which one it is. But yeah, who are the married couple that are referees in the NBA? We have the brothers, we had the golfer, we have the tight end, we have the Drake lover. Who are the married couple that I say this is the husband or this is the wife if they're refereeing our games? Yeah, we had the husband in one of the last games of the season. Actually, he came and refed one of our last games of the season, right before we finished for the year. And of course, I'm going to have the wrap up on the refs for the year with who was the best refs for the Raptors in this past season on our Sunday report coming up. Not this weekend, but maybe the Sunday after that, we'll be doing a ref report overall. Yeah. Do we get half the points for the husband and not the wife? No, you get 100 for both. So you're going to get 200 points for this question if you can name both of the referees. You got to name both of them. You get 100 for each one. So if you can name just the husband, you'll get 100 points. If you can name just the wife, you get 100 points. There we go. There we go. Stargate's on it. It's Lauren Holtkamp Sterling and Jonathan Sterling. And Stargate's going to get both of them. Yep, that's the married couple. And Lauren has not reffed in like 2 years, I think, though. Like she hasn't reffed in a little bit. But Jonathan just reffed for us one of the last games. So Stargate's on it. It's Lauren Holtkamp Sterling and Jonathan Sterling. And they actually got married after they met each other after reffing. So they were not married before. They got married later. If I give the husband, somebody will seagull it. Nah, they got it. And it looks like Randolph got it too. He was just after Stargate. Yeah. All right, next question, guys. Who is the family guy? Who is the family guy? Lucky there's a family guy. I call him Family Guy because his favorite TV show is Family Guy. And also, he has a family with 3 children in it, and he's very proud of his family, just like Peter Griffin. So he's the family guy. I call him the family guy. Curtis Blair? No, Curtis Blair is the former Rocket. He's a former NBA player who played. He got drafted by the Rockets. That's what I put on Curtis Blair to remember him, is that he's a player that got drafted by the Houston Rockets into the NBA as a player, but he's a referee now. Curtis Blair. James Capers is not the answer. Courtney Kirkland is not the answer either. Who is the family guy, y'all? Courtney Kirkland is a cyborg. He's made of circuitry, just like Kawhi Leonard. And yeah, you'll see if he comes to the mic, you'll see he's very emotionless, very emotionless. He doesn't show emotion. Courtney Kirkland's very in the zone. No, it's not Courtney Kirkland. Who is this? Who is the Family Guy, y'all? Y'all have named this person, and the answers already today. So they are somebody that you guys are aware of. This is not somebody coming out of the blue. And we had this person as a ref a lot this year, honestly. So there was a lot of me saying, well, we got Family Guy ref this today for this game. He's the crew chief. It's not Murat Kugat. That's a good guess. Ray Costa is not right either. It's not Ray Acosta, guys. Ray Acosta is the mafia guy. I'll just call him the mafia guy. Even though I know he's not mafia, I shouldn't call him that. But he likes mafia stuff. He's really into Scarface and Sopranos and being a New Jersey guy. Mark Lindsay is the right answer. Randolph has got it. The Family Guy is Mark Lindsay. Mark Lindsay loves the show Family Guy, and he has 3 children, just like Peter Griffin. So he is the Family Guy. Randolph getting trivia points today. I love it. I love to see our amazing spiritual leader, Randolph Phillips, get involved in the trivia and get some points today. That's awesome. I love to see you participate. All right, here we go. We got 4 more questions. Scott Foster has a protege, and this person is also Kyle Lowry's arch enemy as a ref. It was when he was playing for us. There's a particular ref that Kyle Lowry had very serious problems with near the end of his Raptor career with us. So who is that ref? And they're also considered Scott Foster's protege that he's training on the down low. Not Ed Malloy. Ed Malloy is not right, guys. It's not Ed Malloy. You guys got to think about Kyle. And who did Kyle have a serious problem with as a ref? Kind of like Fred had with Ben Taylor. There was a serious issue where it seemed like every single time Kyle was going to have to play with this person involved, there was going to be problems. And they were going to call technicals and get Kyle in foul trouble. This is around Tampa year. This is around the last part of the career of Raptors Kyle Lowry. Ben Taylor is not right. David Guthrie is not right. Y'all are, this is the one Steve got, guys. This is the one that Steve got. Steve was like, oh, I know who this is. I just can't tell you. I can describe them, but I can't tell you the name. I don't remember the name. That's what Steve said. And Steve, you're not here to get the questions. I was joking with him. I was like, Steve, you didn't know all the referee questions. You could come in the stream and just like sweep them all. And I was like, I dared him to. I was like, Steve, you never come and watch my show, bro. He's like, I never get up that early, Lex. I'm sorry, man. I'm like, I wish you would come and watch the show. You have all the trivia answers. You could come in and just cheat and just rattle them off. But no, he doesn't do that. It's not Curtis Blair. It's not Mark Stevens. It's not Matt Callio. Who is the ref that Kyle Lowry had the most problems with at the end of his Raptors career? Y'all don't remember this? And y'all are going to think about this and you'll be like, oh, yeah, I totally remember this now. And also, this person is the protege of Scott Foster. Scott Foster is teaching this referee all of his dirty secrets about gambling in the league. But this ref, I'm surprised y'all aren't getting this. I could give y'all one clue and it would give you it away right away. But y'all are barking up the wrong tree. You're really barking up the wrong tree. James Capers is not right. It is not James Capers. It's not Matt Callio. It's not Mark Stevens. It's not Curtis Blair. It's not David Guthrie. It's not Ben Taylor. It's not Ed Malloy. It's not Sean Corbin. It's not Tim Donaghy. Tim Donaghy. Oh, it's funny. He's not an answer to any of these. Let me just say, give it away right there. It's not a male ref, the one that had a problem with Kyle. If y'all remember correctly. That's right. In Infinity Robinson? No, it's not Infinity Robinson. It's not Murat Kugat. As I just said, it's a female ref. The answer to this question is Scott Foster's protege, and also the person that had the biggest problem with Kyle Lowry at the end of his Raptors. Natalie Sago's right. That's right. Fiercey got it. It's Natalie. Natalie Sago is the person that kept throwing Kyle out of games for a little while there. Remember that? Yeah, we're like, what is her problem? She really doesn't like Kyle. She really doesn't. Well, there's 2 Blue Jays on both the feeders right now. That's awesome. That's awesome. I got 2 feeders up now. I put a second feeder up yesterday. It's really good. And they're both squirrel proof at this point. I've got them fixed so the squirrels can't win. Squirrels, they get all mad too. They look at me in the window and they're like mad at me. They're like shaking with anger because they can't get on the feeder because I've squirrel proofed them. So awesome. Yeah, those Blue Jays are going to town, man. They're on both the feeders right now, man. That's crazy. All right. Anyway, what are you doing, Lex? Short attention span. 3 more questions. Who's the magician? Who is the magician? Yeah, y'all have been naming this person already too. Who is the magician? The person that I probably the one I hate the most. It muted? Who muted? The chat muted? No, it shouldn't have muted. All right, who is the magician, y'all? Murat Kugat is right. Fiercey's got it. Yeah, he's one of the worst refs to us. The ref from Ukraine. Yeah, it's Kugat. Kugat. That's right. All right, 2 more questions. This next question has 3 answers, so a possibility of 300 points for this one, guys. So be on it and be ready. There you go. Which of the refs? There's 3 refs right now in the league. Which 3 refs that are refereeing in the NBA currently right now are second generation refs that their father refed in the NBA before them? There's 3 refs that are in the league right now. There may be more, but there's 3 that I know of for sure. I'm pretty sure there's only 3. Which 3 refs' fathers refereed in the NBA before they refereed? Now, there's a lot of refs that have parents that referee but didn't make it to the NBA. But there's 3 refs that absolutely their fathers made the NBA, and they are following their father's footsteps. So who are the junior refs or the refs that are reffing after their father's footsteps, who ref before them in the past in the NBA? Brian Forte is one of them. Slug Deezy's got it. Joe Forte was his father. And yeah, that is definitely one of the answers. Slug Deezy getting Brian Forte. That's right. Let's see if you guys can guess the other 2. Second generation refs in the NBA, kind of like The Rock. The Rock, I guess, is 3rd generation wrestler. Randy Orton, 3rd generation wrestler. Yeah, we got 3rd generation, 2nd generation. Braun Breaker, 2nd generation wrestler. James Capers is one of them. James Capers Jr. I won't count against you for that. James Capers Sr. was a referee. James Capers Jr. is the other. Randolph is cleaning up, getting 2 questions today. One more referee that had a dad that refereed before them. Sean Corbin is not right. Not Sean Corbine. Corbine. No, it's not Sean Corbin. Nally Sego is not right either. This person, yeah, I don't know if you guys are going to get it. Let me see. Let me try and give a clue where you might be able to get the name. Ooh. Okay, their first name. Brian Forte was already guessed, Randolph. He is one of them, but he's already been guessed. This person's name is the initials of the Godfather's soul. So if you know that, you can get that from there. Yeah, this person's name is the initials of the Godfather of soul. Should get you to where you need to get to for this one. That's right. JB DeRosa. That is right. Randolph got it. It is JB, which is the great James Brown. And his last name is DeRosa. And his father, Joe DeRosa, was a referee in the NBA before. So those are the 3 legacy referees in the league right now. James Capers Jr., Brian Forte, and JB DeRosa. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Fiercey, you're just behind the great Randolph Phillips right there. All right, last question of the day, guys. Get it hot and fresh and quick, just like pizza. Who is the Canadian ref? Who is the Canadian ref in the league right now? There's one ref that is Canadian born. Who is the Canadian ref? If you know this one, there are a couple of refs in the G League that are coming up that are Canadian also, that will hopefully be NBA refs in the future. But currently right now, only one full-time ref in the NBA is Canadian citizen. And who is the Canadian ref? Slug Deezy knows it's Matt Callio of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So Slug Deezy will get the last question on the day after a federal election in Canada. We get our Canadian ref, Matt Callio, not Jason Goldenberg. It's Matt Callio. Good job, Slug Deezy. Like to see so many different names getting answers today. It looks like we got Trevor getting the first one. We got Randolph getting in here, Seymour, Fiercey, Kaz, Stargate. Very, very good to see Slug Deezy also getting some answers. Now, of course, add up the trivia totals for the day, and I'll give you guys the updated standings in the comments after this. Yeah, you like the trivia, ref trivia? The refs are such a topic right now in the playoffs right now. I figured I'd give them some love and show our knowledge on this channel of the referees and who they are. We know them pretty good. I'm very happy. You guys did a really good job getting this. I would say this. You take the audience of Raptors Digest, Locked On Raptors, Raptors Republic, any of these other Raptors channels or entities that do content on the Raptors, they don't know the refs like we do. No, they don't. They do not, because that's our bread and butter. That's something we do. And speaking of the refs, let's go look at today, guys. I want to talk about what's going on with the refs today. With first game today, we got Orlando at Boston in Game 5. Celtics can close out the Magic and end their season tonight. And Tony Brothers will be the crew chief in this game. How fitting. The fried croakers will be on display along with the family guy, Mark Lindsay. He'll be there. And then accordion player, Gianmitas Petraeus, will be the third ref. And Eric Dalen's the alternate, the tight end. So all three of the refs refereeing in Boston tonight favor the Celtics. So it's probably going to be good night, Magic. Your magic is over for the season. Tony Brothers, Mark Lindsay, Gianmitas Petraeus will be the crew, and they all favor the Celtics at home in Game 5 to close it out 4-1 over Orlando. In Detroit and New York, Game 5 in New York, the Big Apple. The crew chief is Vince Carter lookalike Mark Davis. Mark Davis favors the New York Knicks. Tyler Ford, the wonderkind, the best young ref in the league. Tyler Ford is the second ref. He favors the Knicks. And Jason Goebel, the younger of the Goebel brothers, is the third ref in New York tonight, and he favors the Knicks. So Knicks get heavy favor. The two home teams in the Atlantic Division tonight getting heavy favor, having home court advantage and the referees on their side. We could see both those series closed out tonight, 4-1, eliminating Orlando Magic and Detroit Pistons tonight. And in some ways, that just don't seem right for the Pistons, considering the railroad job that happened to them this weekend. Milwaukee at Indiana, Game 5. Crew chief is David Guthrie, the referee that screwed up that Detroit-New York game this past weekend. He favors the Pacers. Courtney Kirkland, the cyborg, is the second ref in Indiana. He favors the Pacers. And the son of Joe Forte, Brian Forte, is the third ref in Indiana tonight. He actually favors the Bucks. So two of the refs favor the Pacers. One reps the Bucks. So yeah, two for Indiana, Guthrie and Kirkland. Brian Forte slightly favors the Bucks. The last game of the night will be the Clippers at the Denver Nuggets, Game 5. And the Clippers can close out this series, right? No, they're tied. They're tied. 2-2 is what this series is at. So pivotal Game 5 in Denver. Josh Tiven is the crew chief. He favors the Clippers slightly. Josh Tiven. Mitchell Irvin, Drake Lover, is the second ref, and he favors the Nuggets. So we got one for the Clippers, one for the Nuggets, and then Carl Lane, Star Wars fan. Carl Lane is the last ref in Denver tonight, and he is favoring the Clippers. So we've got two refs that favor the Clippers and one that favors the Nuggets at home. That should be a very competitive game. The best game of the night will be the Clippers-Nuggets game, I'm going to guess right now, because I expect both New York and Celtics to move on the next round and face each other in the next round. And then we'll see what happens with the Bucks and Indiana. That one could be a crapshoot also. In the replay center in Secaucus, it will be JB DeRosa, the second-generation referee, and Rodney Mott, the old head. Rodney Mott will be in New York, in New Jersey for that stuff. So there's your ref report along with the ref trivia right afterwards. Yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Y'all are filling it up right here. I love to see it. Yeah, Seymour saying Boston will take out Orlando today. I see that too. Orlando, too, not enough on your team. Your team's not built right. You've got some very promising young stars, but you are lacking particular things on your team for winning. And that's just the damn truth. Detroit needs get back tonight. Go Pistons. I'm totally with you. I want to see the Pistons win this game in New York, but it's going to be tough. It's the Big Apple. That's a very, very tough home court with the fans and the attitude and the atmosphere. And in some ways, it can get in the opponent's head that you are in a territory that is not helping or welcoming or nice to you, New York. And those referees, they get a lot of pressure from that environment to be favoring the Knicks also. A lot of pressure in all kinds of different ways. But I hope that Dennis, Tobias, Tim Hardaway Jr., Cade Cunningham can figure out a way to extend the series. If Scott Foster was available, I'd say get him in there and extend this series. Please, Scott Foster. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens tonight. Trevor's saying Pat Riley looks like he saw a ghost last night. Yeah, they're asking Pat, like, "What are you gonna leave? Like, are you gonna retire?" And he's like, "I don't really want to retire. I don't know what I do in myself. I get obsessive about something else, and I probably drive my family crazy. And in some ways, at least me being obsessive about this is something I've already done and it's steady and just the way I've always been." He's very scared to walk away from basketball and not do what he does for the Miami Heat because he feels like that energy is going to go into other places and he may be disruptive in his life because he is a crazy obsessive person about competing and doing what he does. Pat Riley's always been this way since he played for Kentucky way long time ago, as a player in the league for the Lakers, as a coach for the Lakers in the 80s and Showtime, as a GM, as a coach of the Knicks. Everything he's done in his career has been super ultra competitive. And you can tell some of that from the Winning Time cartoon, the Winning Time cartoon for the Lakers and the Showtime thing. He's a weird guy, man. In some ways, he probably should walk away at some point. Maybe it is part of the problem of the staleness with the Miami Heat right now. Is Pat Riley has been there for too long. And in some ways, it's time for moving on. You know, it's sad because there is like not only a passing of the guard with the NBA superstars of that cohort that I'm talking about with LeBron and Kevin and Steph, but also a lot of these longtime coaches and executives in some ways are changing now. Like Popovich, man, I don't think he's coming back. And that's sad. That's sad because in some ways, health reasons will end Greg Popovich's amazing career with the Spurs. He never got fired, though. That's one thing that not many NBA coaches can say, that he never got fired once his whole entire NBA career as a coach. Greg Popovich will be able to say that, but it may be time for these longtime luminaries that are so important to their franchises for so long to move on. Popovich and Riley. We'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. It's crazy. Seymour saying, bye, Milwaukee. Start packing your bags for Cancun. And we'll see what happens with Giannis and his mindset after that. That's right. Randolph saying, Lex, Matt Devlin did a good interview on NBA radio this morning. He is calling one of the games tonight as well. That's fantastic. I mean, I'm not hating on Matt Devlin getting called up to do NBA TV games down south. You know, he's the creme de la creme. And I don't have any worries about them snatching him up. He's very happy in his job with the Raptors. And he's an institution with us. So I'm not really worried about him getting bid out and coming down to the States and leaving the Raptors organization, even though he's doing this extra work. His bread and butter and the thing he does and what he's known for now is being the voice of the Raptors. His voice is synonymous with our championship run. And, you know, Chuck Swirsky was that before, and Chuck is still valued and loved for his time being the voice of the Raptors. But Matt Devlin very highly values that, and I have no worries. I am not worried about Matt Devlin leaving his post, even with all this extra work on NBA TV that he's doing right now in the playoffs. That just is a symbol that he is one of the best in the league, that they get him and bring him in when he's available like this because they want to hear him more. And it's just another symbol of an excellent person in a position in the Raptors organization at the top of his field. And I appreciate Matt Devlin representing us right. And the other thing is we got to understand, if Matt Devlin does do more national coverage down there, well, he's not going to put the Raptors on the buzz. He's not going to trash us for no reason because he understands the Raptors better than pretty much all the other announcers and media people in the States because he covers them every single game. And, you know, he's more willing to give us a fair shake in any kind of opinions that have to do with Toronto Raptors. And that's important. That's important. Smooth saying that 55-point win by the Cavs, is that an NBA record? It's an NBA record for the playoffs as far as point differential in a series. The Cavs mopped the floor with the Miami Heat so bad in this series, they broke the record for the highest cumulative plus minus for a playoff series. Yeah, that got broken right there. Isn't that crazy? Stargate saying Bucks are gone. Bucks are gone. Yeah. All right. Let me see. And saying the rebuild time in Milwaukee. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I could see that. You know, the Bucks franchise has been a little bit behind us on all kinds of stuff. We've initiated a rebuild after our championship. Well, it's about the schedule. 2 years after our rebuild started. Well, 2 years after we won the championship, they won, right? So it's kind of the same schedule. In some ways, is what I'm looking at here. And in some ways, we're set up to be I don't know. We'll have to see how things go. It depends on who they keep and who they switch in and out. We'll have to see what Milwaukee does. I don't have any faith in their front office though. They've shown ineptitude and no clear direction of knowing what the fuck they're doing. Kyle Kuzma is the evidence of this right there. They have no idea what they're doing. Cool Cat saying, I hope the Pacers able to close the series. I hope Jamal of Denver is able to get the dub. So she's rooting for the Nuggets and the Pacers tonight. Of course, the Pacers for sure. Number one, Pascal Siakam fan. And well, I feel pretty good about the Pacers closing out the Bucks at home in Game 5 in this situation tonight. The Bucks probably needed a split, much like the Clippers Nuggets series, to have a real chance in this. And being down 3-1 and going into Indiana, and in some ways, Giannis is not getting that support from his teammates. Yeah, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. And Lillard's done. He's done. He's very much injured. He's not coming back. He is not coming back this year. That's right. Talk about a beatdown, 55 points. Embarrassing. Davion Mitchell's a fantastic player. He came in and played amazing in the play-in for the Miami Heat, got them into the playoffs. And, well, in some ways, Davion is hot and cold. And you can't count on him to be that offensive guy every night. And, well, in some ways, they were needing to count on him all of a sudden. If not him, Andrew Wiggins, Terry Rozier, all these other guys, Jaime Jaquez, none of them showing up to help out Tyler Hero. And, well, Miami missed Jimmy Butler, and that's a big factor right there. Himmy is a very important factor, and the Warriors are enjoying his addition, and the subtraction from the Miami Heat hurt. Let's just put it that way. It hurt bad. Hurt really, really bad. Go Pistons. I'm with you, Fiercey, on that one. Trevor J saying all those teams, 3-1, they're going to go home tonight. Yeah, so he thinks that all these series are going to get closed tonight as far as Milwaukee, Magic, and Detroit, sadly. Yeah, I feel bad for Detroit. I really do feel like they got a raw deal. That shows how pivotal just one game can be if you get screwed over by the refs. It's very much something that happened to the Raptors in Cleveland series against LeBron in the mid-2010s. They screwed us over so bad in one of those games that we actually could have won. And, it's so hard to beat LeBron anyway. It's not like the refs needed to help LeBron in Cleveland during the LeBronto years. They really didn't, but they did. They did still. They still helped them. All right, let's see. Stargate saying Miami rebuild time as well. Yeah, probably. That's probably true. Fiercely saying the freaking Knicks, Oregon, and Spike Lee's outfit will derail the Pistons. Oh, you mean the Oregon in the arena that they play upstairs, and Spike Lee wearing some crazy orange and blue at this sideline? Spike's a good guy. I like Spike. I got a lot of respect for Spike. One of the greatest auteurs as a director in American cinema. His work would be wiped clean and erased by fuckface Trump in the White House. That they try to do this shit, but they didn't get it successfully done. There's a display in the Smithsonian that displays the lunch counter stuff about segregation. It's about civil rights. It's about Black people getting equality in civil rights from the civil rights movement. And Trump wanted to dismantle this display in this federal museum because he looked at it as DEI and inclusiveness and Black history, which he hates. Well, they were going to take down the lunch counter display in the museum. Well, people rose up and resisted, and they had a cow. And, well, they stopped them. They're not going to take this display down. But that's the white supremacy, cruel, fucked up shit that Donald Trump is all about right now. Is he wants to erase American history of racism and bad things that they did because they just want to forget, move on. Well, this shit, the reverberations from all that shit's still happening. And in fact, you are a product of those reverberations. You racist piece of shit, Donald Trump, trying to erase Black history across the United States and all government buildings at this point. You're a fucker. And you're going to get what you get in the end. I'm telling you right now, man, it's crazy. I can't believe this guy. He's messed up, man. Let's see. Fiercely saying Pat Riley needs to read the room. I mean, some people might have said that he probably should have read the room a while back, but I don't know. A man like him needs the respect and the grace to do it as he's going to do it. And he, in some ways, has been heat culture. Should we just say Jimmy Butler's heat culture, Eric Spoelstra's heat culture? But the beginning of heat culture came with Pat Riley and the way he set up his mindset around that team after leaving the New York Knicks as their head coach in the late 90s and switching to Miami. And that became a fiery, hot feud between Miami Heat and New York Knicks and the series that were happening then. Jeff Van Gundy was the coach of the Knicks after, and Pat Riley was the coach of the Miami Heat, and those were battles with Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, and John Starks, and he set the tone for everything. It's just like Popovich with San Antonio. In some ways, Spoelstra is the coach, and he may have the record in the recent years, but Riley is really the puppet master. Riley was always the guy in the back there that was in some ways the person putting out the Heat culture vibes. Heat culture. Think about what he did to Kyle. He yelled at him, said, "You need to get in better shape, Kyle, because you're not in good shape. You're fat." And Kyle was like, whoa, nobody calls me fat. Well, wait, you're Pat Riley. Okay, yeah, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Cool Cat saying the Pistons lose game due to experience. Cade made critical mistakes in those close games. Future very promising. They will learn from playoff experience. Yeah, but they also admitted they should have called a foul on Josh Hart when he hit Tim Hardaway Jr.'s arm on a three-point attempt. That he should have had 3 free throws to possibly win the game for the Pistons in the last seconds on Saturday. So, I mean, we could say it's about not having experience. I don't believe that totally. I think that the Pistons overall in some ways have just as much experience as the Knicks. In some ways, there's players on the Pistons that have so much playoff experience: Tobias Harris, Dennis Schroeder, Tim Hardaway Jr., and then you got, on the other side, I mean, you can look and a lot of, sure, Jalen Brunson, Cat, but in OG, his playoff experience is limited, even though he was on our championship team. We know he didn't play that year. So I don't know. I don't know if the experience factor is exactly what's happening here. It's more the big market and the referees are doing a ref hit job kind of factor in this series. I could say if it was a neutral competition, that in some ways I would pick the Pistons team to beat the Knicks. Yeah. In some ways you're right, though. The experience will be good for Cunningham, and he'll be better for it in the future. Go Pacers. I'm with that. I'm totally with the Pacers tonight. I'm with the Pistons. I'm with the Pacers. I'm with who do I like tonight? Who are my teams that I like tonight? Of course, I want Orlando to win, even though they probably won't. I want the Pistons to win. I want the Pacers to win. And I want the Clippers to win. Those are the teams I'm rooting for tonight. Magic, Pistons, Pacers, and Clippers. Yeah, I don't care about Milwaukee extending the series any further. I really don't. I really, really don't. Let's see. Smooth saying if the Pacers advance, they will have a very hard time with the Cavs, Cleveland, and 6. Well, it'll be interesting. It'll be fun. And, it's the playoffs. We got to see. Each level gets harder and harder. And we'll have to see what is up, man. We'll have to see what is up. Stargate saying this was good experience for that young Detroit team. They get back Ivy next season. That is something that we got to remember. Jaden Ivey got really badly hurt this season and missed a huge chunk of it, and he will be adding to things. Now, whether he adds to good or bad for the team, that's to be determined, because I have not totally determined whether Jaden Ivey is a good player for winning or not. I'm not totally sure about that yet. I can't say for sure that he's a winning kind of player. He could be, not totally Jalen Green, but he could be on that sliding scale towards Jalen Green that he's actually not helpful to winning. So we'll have to see. Let's see. Celtics over the Knicks in 5. That may be possible in the second round. I could see that. Celtics and Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. Could be. Seymour saying 2 organizations I really hate. Atlantic Division foes, classic rivals of the Raptors, the Knicks, and, the Celtics. Yeah, Celtics are, bringing in Kuzma was the last straw. Yeah, really dumb by Milwaukee. Really, really dumb move by Milwaukee. They shouldn't have sold out Chris Middleton. That's not a good change. You'd be better off having Chris Middleton around than Kyle Kuzma in Milwaukee. It was so dumb. Fiercely saying Cleveland sat Garland 2 games in a row and still managed to get convincing wins. Yeah, that's a deep team. And if they're missing one guy, they can make up for him. And that's kind of been the case all year. They've always been kind of missing one of their big 4 each game, and they just kind of work around it. And, it's interesting. They bring Merrill in to start in the place of him, and he adds another extra really good shooter for the Cavs when Sam Merrill's out on the court. He's tough, man. He's tough. Let's see. Smooth saying, hey, Lex, I was watching the election last night. I saw your message on Discord, though. Yeah, I was watching. You know what it was? Like on Mondays, I like to watch the classic wrestling on that date. And the crazy thing that yesterday was the 30th anniversary of the collision in Korea which was the pay-per-view that WCW and New Japan put on in North Korea, which is one of the most weirdest wrestling events ever in the history of wrestling. There's been a dark side of the ring on it, and there's been kind of a lot of stories about the behind the scenes that happened during that pay-per-view when they went to North Korea, which is, North Korea. And they put on this wrestling, and it was fun to watch that pay-per-view over again last night and kind of like just see how the crowd reacted to like seeing such foreign weird stuff that they would never see in their country because they're so dictatorship and they're not allowed to see a whole lot. So when they see like a guy like Cold Scorpio come out and do double flips off the ring post and stuff like that, they're like, whoa, and stuff like that. It was pretty fun. Yeah, there was a couple of cool things that I watched yesterday. I had a whole hour of Maple Leaf wrestling from the Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto from 1984, April 28th, 1984, in the Maple Leaf Gardens with like Ivan Koloff and Jake the Snake and people like that there. And that's fun to do, like nostalgic wise for Toronto, to see what kind of wrestling was happening in our country 41 years ago on the date yesterday. So if you're into wrestling, classic wrestling, and like history, this is a history lesson. Come in there and talk to me on Monday with the voice chat when I'm watching the old wrestling. There's some really good stuff in there. Fiercely saying, hoping Kuzma increases his layup stats in terms of finishing and not missing. Go Pacers. Yeah, that's a huge scary thing as far as like, okay, this is bad. You're 28% for layups. Why are you in the NBA? Is what I start asking. Like Kyle Kuzma, Ben Simmons, why the fuck are y'all in the NBA? Seriously. Y'all don't give a shit about nothing, really. Obviously, you're not trying. You're not trying. Let's see. Seymour saying, don't stick a fork in Detroit just yet. I'm with you, man. I totally want to see this. If Beef Stew shows up, like, can Beef Stew be ready to come back tonight? That could help a lot. We need Isaiah Stewart back out there. Seriously. So who's saying Clippers probably winning tonight? I hope so. I could see that. Even though Denver's got the home court, the Clippers in some ways have more weapons, and Denver's in trouble. They're just eking by. Like that last win, they just barely won. They just barely won. Obviously, that Gordon shot, they just barely won. Seymour saying Kuzma is a fashion model, not an NBA player. Yeah, he's something. He's ditzy like a fashion model. That's for damn sure. That's for sure. Fiercely saying, agreed, Lex. Spike Lee is iconic for Black culture. Yeah. And the powers that be down in the United States would erase the career work of Spike Lee if they could. Seriously, they would. Smooth saying Kyle has always had a round build, though, man. It never meant he was out of shape. I'm not saying, Kyle Lowry. I thought you meant Kuzma. Yeah, I agree with this. It's a similar thing to Dusty Rhodes. Everybody thinks Dusty Rhodes was out of shape, but that man could wrestle for an hour. He's not out of shape. He's just a husky man. That's all it is right there. Yeah. Seymour saying, let's go, Schroeder. That's right. Let's go, Dennis Schroeder. I'm all about that. All right, real quick. Straight goods on Canadian goods. Today's good is from Canada. Dairy company, guys. It's called Earth's Own. Earth's Own is this is a soy almond milk, chocolate almond milk. I don't really do lactose anymore, so I don't drink regular milk, but I like almond milk. And this is a Canadian company made in Canada, and they're Earth's Own. Earth's Own is out of BC, guys, and they are out of Burnaby, and they produce all their milks and creamers in 3 cities across in Delta, BC, and Quebec City, and Mississauga is where they make this. So this is a Canadian-made dairy product, and they're very much all about the environment and trying to do things correctly for sustainability with the environment. And they support Canadian farmers, and they really, really do care about their impact in environmental ways and for our own country here. So, and this is plant-based milk and stuff like that. So check out Earth's Own, guys. It's a BC company. And if you're like me and you don't really do lactose, you can get like a milk substitute like this, like an almond milk like this. This is chocolate. It's so good, man. Canada's best tasting. I agree with that. It's fantastic. I love eating cereal. And because this is a lactose-free almond milk, I can drink this without any worries with it screwing up my stomach. So yeah, Earth's Own. We dig plants. Earth's Own. Very, very good company green-wise and for Canada-wise. So if you see this in your dairy section, this brand, Earth's Own, buy it and know that you're buying Canadian. There you go. There's the straight goods on the Canadian goods right now. Guys, I went to the post office yesterday. And there was something there for me from Trevor J. And I finally picked it up, Trevor. And I've got the new trophy. Now I think I'm going to give this one to Peter for the championship for the fantasy. I was going to give him that other one that I showed, but this one is amazing. Trevor J sent me this trophy in the mail to give to Peter as the fantasy championship trophy. Look at this thing. It's amazing. This is crystal. And the ball is all glitter and glammed out like a bling bling. I mean, this is the most blingingest award channel because of Trevor J. Look at this thing. This is ridiculous. This is heavy. This looks like somebody had to come up to the stage and make a speech, and they start waving them off. It's like, oh, thank you for the ESP for basketball. Thank you. I want to thank the academy. I want to thank my coach and my teammates. And they're starting the music. Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you, God. Bye. All right. Yeah. You know, it's that kind of award. This is crazy. Look at this. Look at this detail. This is crazy. And it's got a little symbol in the middle. So, yeah, I think that because this is heavy too. And if I have to mail this to somebody else, I got to drive this to Peter. So I think I'm going to give Peter this for his fantasy championship. Yeah, this will be good for him. I think Peter would like it. It's got like a little gem thing in the middle too. Isn't this bling, y'all? What do y'all think of this trophy? Seriously, is this ridiculous or what? Like, this is the things that Trevor's sending me. I'm not asking him to either. He's just like sending. He's like, Lex, there's a package in the mail. And I'm like, okay. Then I go there and then I find out it's this. It's crazy. They got a little basketball guy in the middle dunking the ball. It's a fantastic trophy. Yeah, we're going to get this to Peter for his Yahoo Fantasy Championship with us this year. Yeah, that's what's up, man. All right, let's see what's going on else with you guys in the chat here. Knicks and Celtics, it will be all over for the Knicks. No bench, just like the Lakers. That's probably right. That's probably right, Trevor. I could see that. Smooth saying maybe Pat thought so, but that same Kyle Lowry has a ring, went through the wars. Yeah, but in some ways, you got to understand who Pat Riley is as an icon and a legend. Showtime era, how many rings he's got. He's got rings as an executive with Miami, and he's got rings as a coach with the Lakers, and he's got rings as a player with the Lakers. It's like Kyle Lowry has one ring. Pat Riley probably has 12 rings, man. Seriously, I don't know if he has 12. He has 5 with the Lakers as a coach. He's got 2 as a player. That's 7. And I think he's got 3 with the Miami Heat. So he's got 10 rings. I'm sorry, man. We got to go to like who has more rings, Reggie. We gotta give Pat Riley his due. He's got like 10 rings, man. He's got like 10 rings at different levels, player, coach, and executive, which is nuts, man. James is saying Dallas had Brunson, Doncic, Porzingis. That's a good team. Should have kept them all together. Yeah, and if Mark Cuban had been more in charge and directing things, I don't know. Things did go awry once they lost Jalen Brunson. I thought losing Porzingis was a win, though, to be honest. In some ways, I still feel like Porzingis is a losing kind of player. And, everywhere he goes, he kind of adds to losing more than winning. I don't believe in him as being a winning player. So I don't know. I won't get behind the Porzingis part, but I'll definitely get behind the Jalen Brunson part there. Yeah. Fiercely saying, it's bad when you hate the Celtics, but still root for them to boot Orlando. This is me. I mean, Orlando's dirty and Orlando is kind of a punk ass team, but I can't get behind this completely. I can't get behind this because in some ways, I don't like the Celtics that much. And in some ways, Orlando, I hope you will win tonight. I kind of do want them to win. Fiercely saying Jaden Ivey coming back will take minutes away from Dennis. Yeah, but in some ways, Dennis is just like Dennis has been in the last couple of places, temporary. We know Dennis is in their long-term plans. He's there right now, and he's fitting and he's helping. But, of course, Jaden Ivey should take the minutes away from Dennis. Dennis is older, and he's not going to be in the league as long. And Jaden Ivey's the future. And that would just make sense. That would just make sense. Cool Cat saying, I love Earthzone Company. I buy their products for many years now. The only non-dairy brand I use. There you go. There's an endorsement from Coach Cool Cat. Yeah, they're pretty good. Earthzone almond milk, good for people with dairy allergies. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I've been really happy with this brand. I found it more recently. I didn't know about it until earlier this year, kind of partly because I wanted to start buying Canadian. And I looked in the section and it's like, this is the only thing that I clearly thought for sure was Canadian for sure. And I was like, man, all right, I'm going to start buying this for sure. Because in some ways it checks the boxes. It's sustainable, Canadian, and it's okay with my dietary restrictions. So yeah, it's awesome. You buy Earth's Own oat milk, Stargate. See, there you go. We got ringing endorsements from a few of the Raptor freaks on this buy Canadian goods, straight goods today. There you go. Ringing endorsements. That's right. Wow, Trevor. Yeah, isn't this crazy? This trophy. This trophy is crazy, man. That trophy is a beautiful design. Thank you, Trevor J. Raptor Freak community appreciates you. Yeah, we do. Trevor J is the commissioner of fun. He commissions us to have fun. And well, we want to do a good job, so we need to have fun because that's what he would want. That's right. That's what he wants. Isaac Campbell saying dunk for Trevor J on the trophy. Yeah, benevolent one. He's giving you a run for the money on being benevolent. This guy is, you guys are all benevolent. Honestly, you're benevolent ones. But yeah, 75 on the dunk chart because Isaac Campbell threw the lob just now. There you go. There you go. Isaac, good to see you pop up here. And congratulations, Isaac. It's a pretty good federal election. I know our guys didn't do so well, but like I said, we're dormant. And in some ways, we're a coalition government. And I don't mind working with the liberals to try and keep fascism out of power. So I have no problem with my vote yesterday. You know, I'll be sad that Singh's stepping down, but that will open up hopefully somebody new and new talent to lead my party, the NDP, which I am NDP, but don't get it twisted. I went red this election because that was what was the right decision for right now. But hopefully we can change the laws and I can start voting with my total heart of the best candidate that I absolutely love, and that's usually NDP or Green. And then we can get more proportional representation in government. That's what we need, Mark Carney. There's fascist right-wing powers out there. We need to give more democracy to the people. So do the election reform that Justin promised. Finally do it, please. That's what I'm asking you, man. You get in real good with people if you do that. And don't be afraid of doing that. Don't be afraid of democracy and people having the right representation proportionally to who they are. In some ways, that's the dirtiness of Canadian politics, is when you rig it in certain ways to hurt the people and not letting them be represented, especially people who live in the city. They lose out on getting proportional representation. And we need that better. We need that better. That's right. That's right. Stargate saying Luka and Kristaps didn't like each other, so it didn't work. That's the thing. I think that Porzingis doesn't like many people in this league. He's a prickly guy. In some ways, he doesn't have an attitude of friendliness in general. And then he doesn't have a lot in common with most NBA players. Let's just put it that way. The dude from Latvia is not necessarily a guy who's identifying with his teammates or even trying to. You know, Nikola, at least he's a happy-go-lucky guy. They're a little bit similar, but Nikola is kind of a more warm energy and kind of funny and goofy. Kristaps isn't like that, man. He's too serious, but he's also not really like having a lot in common with people as far as his teammates. And I've always seen a gap between connecting with his teammates, and it's even evident on the Celtics, even though they won and they're doing well. He's not totally in the fold like some of those other guys are with each other. It's just how it is. It's just the way Kristaps is, his personality. He's just like that. He can't get along with Luka. Well, he's not going to get along with most of the league, and that's just him. He's a dick. It's just part of it. All right, let me see. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, I'm looking at the election board, and man, you know, the liberals were very close to getting a straight up majority. You know, they needed 4 more seats, 5 more seats to get the straight. Hey, that's not bad. It's in some ways it's not totally good to have a majority government because we want to have different voices involved, you know. So it is what it is. All right, let's see. What do I got next? The Instagram stories. First of all, Chris Boucher is posting an old high school clip of him playing. He's calling it the Lost Files. And it's kind of interesting to see, honestly. Really young Chris playing in a very small game. It's like unearthed footage that he hadn't seen in a long time. And he posted it on his Instagram story. So if you want to see young Chris playing in high school against kids that are way smaller than him and he's dominating, it's a very interesting clip, actually. Very, very interesting. There's a clip of Chris's child again. Chris is putting her on blast. She's wearing a Raptors hoodie, so he can't be mad at the Raptors that much if he's put his child in a Raptors hoodie. He's saying that she's too confident because she's trying to crawl up the slide, and it's a nice sunny day yesterday. That's beautiful. I'd love to see Chris's beautiful little daughter wearing a Raptors hoodie, because that's a good sign right there. That's a good sign. Chris is also saying, me walking by faith, not by sight, because God always comes through. There you go. He's put that faith in God that he may be in a free agency summer, but God's looking out. He's going to work it the way that it's going to be working the best for Slim Duck. And that's what we want to see. He's also got a quote here that's saying, You pray for rain, then you got to deal with the mud too. That's part of it. There you go. That's a quote from Denzel Washington, actually, right there. Garrett Temple is posting something about the prank call that was played on Deion Sanders' son at the NFL draft this weekend. Apparently, it was the son of a person who was a coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons called Sanders and messed up with him, man. It's like I made a tremendous mistake. What I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. It was just very like not necessary. And yeah, you're messing with the guy's one of the happiest moments of his life by trying to be jerky boys on the phone. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're an idiot. In some ways, you should be punished for this. I'm sure your dad's real thrilled with what you did. Seriously, I'm sure he is. He's not. Jonathan Mobo has one of the best posts on Instagram for the year. One of my favorite Instagram stories the whole year. These guys are funny, man. They go traipsing around Asia last week, going to Thailand and the Philippines, playing pickup basketball, running around the entourage, Lloyd, Jay Simpson, Nick, Jonathan, Scotty, Nardo, whoever else was there with them. And they show back up in Toronto yesterday or the day before, just in the last couple of days. And the weather's beautiful. And what do these guys do? They immediately go downtown in Toronto and they walk around the middle of the street. It looks like they're on Front Street, right downtown, right on Front Street, right downtown. And these guys are standing in the middle of the street like they're just on their victory tour. And of course, Jonathan's song playing over this great picture of them standing in the street is Thin Lizzy's "The Boys Are Back in Town." I love that, man. That is so amazing and beautiful for a couple reasons. First of all, fantastic vacation, guys. It seems like y'all had a blast. You got lots of sunshine, lots of interesting international experiences, and you came back and the weather is perfect in Toronto all of a sudden, and you got that good feeling, don't you? Yeah, the boys are back in town. The boys are back. Yeah, and Lloyd looks so tough in that picture, man. Lloyd, you look so tough. You're like this. I'm like, Lloyd looks tough, man. Look at how tough Lloyd is in this picture. Scotty, man, your entourage, the boys, the gang, it's fun, man. And I'm glad that you have such a tight friend group. And it's so fun to like see people like Lloyd and Durrani in your circle because I know the origins of how those guys became friends with you. These are not friends of yours from when you were a kid, like Jonathan. This isn't a friend from FSU playing on the team like Jay Simpson. No, these are friends that you made through the video game on 2K. That is exactly where you met Lloyd. That is exactly where you met Durrani. I remember when you met Durrani. You weren't even friends with Durrani when we first started getting on Twitch and Scotty Barnes' Twitch family. You weren't even friends with him. You gave him a tryout to let him play on your 2K team, and he kicked ass. And you're like, yeah, all right, Durrani, you're in. But then I go and look on social media, and you are hanging out with Durrani in real life now. That's amazing. I love that so much. And I love that the boys are back in town. The weather is beautiful in Toronto, and these guys are rolling with Thin Lizzy. I'm just saying, man, that was awesome. In some ways, it shows that these guys' home base is here. Seriously, Scotty's home base has been Toronto since he got drafted by the Raptors. In the offseason, we know he is here in Toronto more than he is anywhere else. He's hanging around in our country, in our city, with the Raptors, around OVO Center, around Bobby and Masai, around what our Raptors are doing. And that's a commitment. That's a level of commitment that you see. How many players in the past that were superstar players for the Raptors, like Chris Bosh and Vince Carter, did they hang around in the city like this, like Amir Johnson did? That's what I'm saying, bro. Those are the signs that Scotty is for real as far as like ingrained with Raptors culture, being the Raptors franchise player and getting involved in everything the Raptors are doing because he's here and present, man. And I love that. And by proxy, Jonathan is too. Jonathan is too as his right-hand man. But yeah, more pictures and footage from the Asia trip for Scotty and Jonathan. All kinds of fun stuff and great seeing the stuff. Jay Simpson, great stuff from you too. That's right. Stay young and try again. That's right. Stay young and try again. That's what I'm trying to do. I'll be 50 this year. I'm trying again. I'm staying young. That's right. That's right. The entourage is awesome. Of course, Lloyd is doing the Four Files, which is a secret YouTube channel. Not many people know about this. Most Raptors Nation does not know about this. And I'll give you a little secret because this is what we do on the Raptor Freak channel. There's a YouTube channel called the Four Files, and it has behind the scenes footage and YouTube clips of Scotty on his travels around the world with his friends. There's a Spain clip and there's a new Thailand clip that just came out from last week. And I'm going to tell you right now, that YouTube channel, the Four Files, only has less than 200 subscribers right now. That is how much people are sleeping on this shit. They don't even know about it. They don't even know about it. I'll bet you blow up now because I talked about it, and also because people will start discovering it. But the Four Files, which is the artistic lens of Lloyd taking in the views of the entourage on their exploits and adventures abroad, internationally. Scotty Barnes, Jonathan Mobo, Nardo, Jay Simpson, Lloyd. That's what I'm saying. You guys got to check out the Four Files. There's some stuff there that you want to see. Trust me. Lloyd is all about the Four Files. If you can find Lloyd, you can find the Four Files. Coach Andrew Jones wants you to vote for his wife once a day. She is in the Supermom contest. It's the day is health and happiness of my kids. I'm currently first. Vote Supermom for Andrew Jones's wife. They have 3 children. And, well, you want to help out Coach Jones, vote for his wife for Supermom. That's what's going on there. Let's see what else. Yeah, and there's one of his daughters is working out. He's putting them through the grind. So Andrew Jones, he ain't coaching 905 right now. He's coaching his children. There's an interview with Monica Wright-Rogers, the general manager of the Toronto Tempo, on Teresa Resch's Instagram stories right now, and doing an interview with CIBC and talking about the new responsibilities being the general manager of the Toronto Tempo franchise. I like that. Emmanuel Quickly's got a friend, a family member or somebody's dancing on the kitchen counter, and she's getting down, and Emmanuel ain't hating on that, but he's doing a facepalm on it also. Savannah Hamilton was imploring people to vote yesterday, and well, it looks like we did get a good vote on everything. And also, she's noting that for the first time in league history, the entire WNBA preseason will be broadcast. So they're going to show every single preseason game for the WNBA. Normally, they do not do that. Let's just put it that way. There's Scotty with the guys in the street. The boys are back in town. That's right, back in the T-Dot. The boys are back in town. I love that shit. That's so awesome. Thin Lizzy, let's go. Let's go. Jamal Shed is doing a very interesting workout on his Instagram story. He's working on balance, and he's using the heavy ball. And the drill he's doing with his trainer is very interesting because this is the kind of stuff that will really help Jamal as a point guard for the Raptors in the years to come. It's kind of like this kind of thing where if you're falling out of bounds and you can hold your body enough to hold strength to push the ball out before you fall out of bounds is kind of what he's working on right here. Maybe some of this tiptoeing around and trying to get good strength in your feet, maybe stepping on just one foot because you can't use both feet. Whatever the drill is, I can see how it's very, very useful, and it's showing the agility and balance of Jamal Shed, that drill that he's doing with his trainer right there. And I love it. You're very much inside look on one of the things that Jamal is doing to improve himself as an NBA player. So check out his Instagram stories if you want to see what I'm talking about, and you'll see the balance and skill that Jamal is showing. And you can tell exactly what he's doing is going to be very helpful for his career in the NBA. I'm telling you right now. So, yeah, there's some fun stuff with Jamal. He's trying to sneak up on his friend sleeping, and his friend wakes up all of a sudden. Also, Charles Oakley is celebrating his mother's 90th birthday yesterday. And there's a picture of Charles Oakley, the great Raptor, with his 90-year-old mother saying, "Happy birthday to mom with love." Charles Oakley with his mother. Beautiful picture. And happy birthday, Mama Oakley. And Leo Routins has got his words of wisdom coming in at the last minute here. The most valuable math you can learn is how to calculate the future cost of your current decisions. Think about that. Leo's so doom and gloom sometimes, man. You're too fucking serious, Leo Routins. Let's just put it that way. You're too serious sometimes, Leo. Oh, my gosh. All right, there's your Instagram stories for the day right there. Let's check in with Blue Skies, and let's see if there's any news that's interesting on Blue Skies in any kind of way. As far as with basketball, the Raptors, not really. Keek says good stat stuff in some ways, but really not. There's not a whole lot there. They're kind of talking about how amazing the Liberal Party overcoming the Conservatives was, considering how much of a lead the cons had for so long. It's really, really great. In some ways, it's fantastic. Let's see. On Raptors Reddit, they are posting. Let's see. They're posting Pat Riley and saying, "Say what you will about Messiah and company. No one thinks they're washed like Pat Riley." That's what Raptors Reddit is saying right now. Yeah, that's not really a whole lot of new there. Let's see if you guys have anything interesting on Discord. I don't look like it. Y'all, we have less than a week before we're going to start this WNBA fantasy league. I need one more team. I really, really do. I need one more team to join. Please join if you haven't joined already and you're very interested. We need one more team for our draft on Sunday. I will be very, very actively looking for somebody for sure in the next couple days. If there's nobody stepping up to volunteer, we will get somebody in there somehow, some way. So please, if you're very interested in doing it, well, it's time to jump on it and get it right now. I'm just saying. All right, let me see what else you guys are saying in the chat. We'll probably get done with the stream right around 2 hours. Right around 2 hours. Let's see. Just like DZ saying, rest in peace, Jack Layton. Yeah, Jack Layton is a great Canadian and an amazing person. And I have a lot of respect for his legacy and what he did as a politician for Canada. Yeah, Jack Layton. I mean, NDP is just where I line up with. I like a lot of the green stuff too, because I'm very environmental. And, I want to be more with the liberals in the correct way, but they really are corporate Democrats. And in some ways, I'm anti-corporate, and Liberal Party is corporate. But in some ways, you have to go for the lesser of two evils in politics around the world these days. Sadly, that's the way it is with the U.S. elections and the Canadian elections also. It's not that I hate Mark Carney. I think he's going to do a fantastic job, and I think that he's going to do really well. It's just that I don't like the Liberal Party overall because in some ways, like I said, they're compromised by corporate money. And I'd much rather have grassroots people like leaders like Bernie Sanders or Jagmeet Singh representing me more often and being more in that direction. But we've got to find a middle ground as far as this election. And I think we did yesterday. I think we did. Yeah. Fiercey's got Scotty on blast. Yeah, Scotty's having a blast, man. Scotty's a happy dude, man. Scotty's a dad. Scotty has a team that is on the rise that he can really feel good about being a part of and being the leader of. And, it's summertime in Canada. And, well, you go through all the bad weather here. You get into the good weather now. You deserve it. Why take off now? You're actually getting the good weather now, Scott. So he's like, he went to Thailand and he went to Philippines and he winded down there for a little bit on a vacation. He's back now. And, well, I'm sure he's back to work at OVO Center down there with Jonathan Mobo, putting in work to get his NBA game up for next year. Right now. Yeah. Trevor's saying they're saying title expectations for the Lakers was too high. That's funny. That's funny. That was too high. Yeah. Maybe you were high when you made them. That's what I would say. It's not too high. Y'all were high. Y'all were high when you thought the Lakers were going to win a championship. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Seriously, it's ridiculous. Smooth saying the Luka trade was for future seasons. Anything the Lakers get this season is a bonus. I guess. I mean, they want an heir apparent for after LeBron leaves. That's basically it. And they wanted to lock it in and have it for sure. And boy, is the alliteration of Luka on the Los Angeles Lakers is a lot of L's. Yeah, a lot of L's. Exactly. A lot of L's. I don't think they're going to do it very well, even when LeBron leaves, because they don't build teams right. And that team's never had a commitment to building a defensive team. That's part of the problems, too, with the Lakers. They don't care about defense in L.A. Well, defense wins championships and wins playoff games, and you ain't going to win no games when you're like that. That's right. So he's saying, I think Jagmeet stepped down. Yeah, he did. He said he would because they lost seats, and in some ways he's seen as a party. He's been in charge of that party for so long. It's the natural time. I was surprised he was still in charge, honestly. But, I love Jagmeet, and he's going to be always an important politician in the history of Canada in certain ways. Even though he never was prime minister, he's still an important person, and he symbolizes a lot of good things. So, we'll see who the next person that steps into power for that party is. I mean, even Elizabeth May is maybe a little bit tired for the Green Party at this point. It's that kind of thing. NDP lost official party status. Well, that's too bad because they lost seats, but that's the sacrifice to defeat Pierre in some ways. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They're going to get that back in some sort of way, but we need proportional representation. In some ways, don't take this win, liberals and Carney, and ensconce us to being a two-party country like the United States. It is good for us to have variety, but in some ways, I'm very happy the election outcome wasn't split by NDP and liberals, and then the conservatives won. That would have been a disaster. So, yeah, the sacrifice is the NDP to a degree in this whole situation. But in some ways, let's not get it twisted. The policies and the politics that I believe in and Isaac Campbell believe in are still very strong in this country. And we will rise up and be strategic about showing our power in that kind of way for our party still. It's just that right now, we needed to be smart and preserve the democracy and the freedom of the country of Canada. And, in some ways, the NDP was a sacrifice in this election. And there were a lot of NDP people that knew they had to make the sacrifice, like I did. And it's just how it is, man. Trevor's saying Scotty putting on his camp again. Yeah, all these guys are going to do their camps. Jakob's camp in Austria is already sold out. IQ's got camps. Jamal Shed's got camps. Jacoby Walter's got camps. Scotty's going to have his camp in Mississauga again, once again, too. That's right. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew from Monique, the superfan Lawrence. Good morning to you, Monique. I'm going to do the classic card right now. Let's see what we got for a classic card today. Hopefully we get a cool one. Let's see. Do I want this one? Nah, let's skip this one. We won't do this one right now. Let me see. I want to get a good one. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, we'll do this. All right. This is a 50-point card, and get it fast, please. First full name answer gets it. I'm going to start it from far away. Let's see how far you guys can see it from. Because, man, this one, oh, man, this is kind of cool, actually. All right, let's see if you guys can figure out who this is. How soon? Classic card of the day. Full name answer. 50 points to the winner. Can you figure out who that is? This is crazy. That's it. It's like DZ got it from far away. That is RJ Barrett on the New York Knicks. Look at that RJ card. Isn't that cool? It's young RJ. Our guy from Mississauga. It's our dude. It's not a Raptors card. I said I want a Raptors card, but I got a Raptor. It's just that it's in his previous team. RJ Barrett on the Knicks is the card of the day. Look at him right there. Yeah, RJ. Knicks RJ. Let's see what the copy says. RJ Barrett went to high school outside of Orlando, so it was a homecoming of sorts for the Canadian keeper Hooper, where the Knicks played the Magic on February 17, 2021, making his preseason felt all over the floor. The forward posted 15 points, 7 boards, and a steal and a block. It was the 6th time in his career that he got those numbers in a game. Well, that doesn't sound like anything compared to what he does now. This is a rookie card, guys. This is an RJ rookie, guys. This is an RJ Barrett rookie card. It's going in my collection. I'm sorry, guys. That one will not be available at the Raptor Freak meet and greet on June the 7th at the NBA restaurant in celebration of the birthday of the superfan, Monique Lawrence, the greatest. Guys, mark your calendars. June the 7th is the date for our next get-together at the Raptor Freak get-together for Monique's birthday, y'all, at the NBA restaurant. That's a Saturday, the first Saturday of June, June the 7th. So mark your calendars. It's going to be during the day in the afternoon. And I'd like people to come. If you're from out of town and you can make it to the city to come, do it. Because we're going to celebrate Monique's birthday. Of course, her family and friends are going to be there also. It's going to be a big birthday party. And, of course, we want the Raptor Freaks to be represented there like we were last year for that fantastic event. So Mo's birthday, June the 7th, NBA restaurant in the afternoon on a Saturday down at the Queen's Key in downtown Toronto. I hope you can be there and join us. We had a blast last year. We're going to try and do it again this year. Make it very special and fun and put some smiles on everybody's faces, especially, June the 7th, y'all. NBA restaurant. Be there. Be there and hang out with me and Monique and everybody else. That's right. There you go. There you go. Stargate saying the Lakers are the most overrated team I've ever seen. The way the sports media in the States props up This obvious mediocre team is mind-boggling. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. It's infuriating. And it's like, you know what? If you treated all the teams that were like them like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, you might actually be the league would not, it'd be weird, man. Like you should be treating the Charlotte Hornets like them too. It's crazy like that. Nick Young, no, it's not Nick Young. Smooth saying we'll look outside the US to strengthen relationships. The thing is that, look, the United States is not the leader for freedom and democracy at this point. That has all gone out the window since January because it's obvious it's a fascist totalitarian president, and he's stomping all over the Constitution and the checks and balances of the U.S. government that ensures that it will stay a democracy. So, in some ways, when you start acting like Putin, you lose that leadership in the free world. You want to turn your back on all your allies and start talking trash with tariffs and start acting out of pocket like that. Well, you're losing friendships, especially your best friend, Canada, up above, along with all the UK friends, all the European friends, and other markets around the world. You're losing them. And well, there's a void for leadership in this world, in the countries, for democracy, and Canada's ready to step up. That's what we're saying is like, look, if the US ain't gonna be like US is supposed to be, well, we're gonna shine that beacon of freedom and justice that the US tried to used to do. If y'all ain't gonna do it right because your leadership is tainted with a wannabe king and a dictator and an oligarchy where the billionaires have bought your country and they're basically running it from to the ground for their own selfish monetary gain, well, Canada's going to step up and say, we're going to be the leaders now. And we're going to stand with the UK. We're going to stand with Japan. We're going to stand with Mexico. We're going to stand with the other European countries and other Asian countries that are in a coalition of freedom and believe in justice, like Australia. That's what I'm saying. We can be more that leader in some ways. And this is an opportunity. This is in some ways, this is kind of a sad situation because the US in some ways is very powerful and they should be doing this job. But if they are going to fucking fail at what the job description is and they don't want to do it correctly anymore, if Donald Trump wants to turn his back on the needy around the world and be a fucking heartless, cold bastard businessman who just cares about his own money and his own life, well, you're going to get what you get. You run your country to the ground. There's good people in the United States that believe in what I'm saying still. And we see you and we love you still, Americans that are against Trump and his bullshit. And you are a part of the resistance. We are on your side too. I'm not against America. I love the idea of America and democracy, but it is failing at what it's supposed to do on the job assignment right now. And maybe Mark Carney and the Canadians will have to step up and show them exactly how it's supposed to be done once again. Yeah, this is an opportunity for us. It's an opportunity for us to strengthen our trade relations with other places and get more going for ourselves. It's a kick in the butt. It's a wake-up call. And in some ways, Canada needed it. And in some ways, I'm not scared anymore. I feel powerful and enabled and empowered. I would have been really pissed if that fucker had won last night because that would have been the wrong direction. But now we have some ammunition to stand for our country and keep it true north, strong, and free. And we will, trust me, we will. That's right. Most saying the playoffs are so weak. I feel like the playoffs have been extra physical and very interesting in some ways. I feel like this has been a good playoff, seriously, because there's a lot of intrigue. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on, and there's not a whole lot of sweeps in the first round. That's the other thing. Usually there's like crazy sweeps left and right, and we've only had one sweep, really. Was there two sweeps? Two sweeps. Oklahoma City and Cleveland. They're the only two teams that swept in the first round. So I don't know. I think that the playoffs have actually been pretty good this year. I'm going to disagree with you, Mo. I haven't even watched them, and I think that they're good. There's just drama. There's more physicality. There's more defense. And there's more going on with the games that's actually very intriguing to me. It's not as script written and kind of predictable right now. There's a lot that could happen in different series that could be different and change really fast. Even though some of these series are 3-1, well, there could be some surprises. We'll have to see. Yeah. Most saying W stream, W vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Freak Tues strong forever. Just helping me limit the comments. I appreciate you, Mo, for helping with your part here. Yeah. Yeah. Smooth saying it's a kick in Canada's ass in a good way. Yeah. If we spend more money to defend ourselves, we spend more money in investing in our own industry and creating and producing items that we relied on the United States to make. That's a good thing. We want to increase more economic activity up here. We want to keep our money in our economy. We want to stop spending blindly on American brands where that money goes to the corporations of the American companies down south. Let's keep that money in our country, in our borders, by spending money on good Canadian companies like Earth's Own. Seriously, we have companies up here that are Canadian that are dying for more Canadians to buy from them. And that means you buy from them, they have to hire more workers. That means more Canadian jobs. That means more Canadian profits. And that means the money stays circulating in the Canadian economy. You go and buy a 12 pack of Coca Cola, there's a cut of that that's going to the US. You go buy a Big Mac, a combo at the McDonald's, that's a cut of that that's going to the US. But you go to Harvey's, you go to A&W, you go to Mary Brown's Chicken, well, that's staying in the Canada. That's what I'm saying. That's the difference right there. That's the difference right there. That's right. Trevor's saying Canada is a special country and have more power than people don't know about. This is very true. In some ways, we're like the guy who's sitting at the end of the bar who's quiet and kind of keeping to himself. And US is that loud asshole standing at the bar yelling and talking about how badass they are and all this. And we're the quiet guy at the end of the bar. And like, we're nice and we're friendly, but don't push us. Trust me, we're very big. We're very big. And we're more powerful than we seem. And we're kind of like that quiet guy you shouldn't fuck with, is what it is what I say on that. Yeah. Stargate saying, I'm not going to watch a single playoff game until the Lakers are officially gone. Maybe then I'll watch a game or two. He's boycotting because of the Lakers and Luka and their bullshit. I appreciate this. I can respect this. That's right. Fiercely saying good morning to Mo. I love that. I love that. All right, y'all. I guess I've done all my business for today. Thank you, guys. We're right at 2 hours. Thanks for playing referee trivia with me. I guess now you guys will know who the lawyer is more often, or the Star Wars fan, Drake lover, fried croakers eater. We'll have, there's so many refs. We're definitely gonna have a referee trivia part 2 at some point, because there's a whole bunch of questions I could have put on this one with different refs that I didn't use that I will down the road. Trust me. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. Yeah. Most saying, yeah, I'm not really watching Stargate. I don't have a favorite. Yeah, she's like me. I mean, once the Raptors are done, we do such a grind with the Raptors, and she's going to so many games this year. We need a break. And to me, I have enjoyed my evenings without basketball, even though there's crazy good basketball going on. I get it. But I can vicariously listen through the scores and what you guys are saying. And, I can kind of piece it together what the storylines are without actually like watching the whole game. I can watch highlights and look at the box score and kind of see important plays like the Aaron Gordon put back at the end of the game with Denver and kind of assess from that. But the time investment in the evenings, well, I'm free to go do other projects and other things. And that's nice, especially this time of year with the nice weather coming now. So, yeah. And peace to you, Neil. I appreciate you, Blackhawk. All right, let's run it down. There was a victory in the election for Mark Carney and the Liberals in Canada last night. Thank you, Canada, for getting out and voting. The high turnout is very much important. And I appreciate Canadians being smart and educated to make the wise decision in this situation. Nobody needs any kind of Trump kind of people up here. And that's who Pierre Poilievre was. And thank you for rejecting him to the point that he lost his riding and he's not going to be a member of parliament even. Not only is he not going to be prime minister, he doesn't even have his member of parliament anymore because he lost his own territory. So that's fantastic. Good job. We have shown that we reject the politics of MAGA in the country of Canada. And I appreciate that. And the next step is, well, let's keep this liberal government on task for helping the people in the right ways. Let's get grocery prices down. Let's start making more rules about the housing market that are helpful to people like Cass being able to buy a house for themselves. Let's do things in the right ways to strengthen our country so that we have ability to protect ourselves from possible threats from idiots down south. Yeah, these are the tasks at hand, and we will do them. We're going to get that 2% in spending and defense and probably exceed it, guys. I could see us exceeding the 2% of our GDP spending on military very soon, because in some ways we need to do that. We really, really do need to do that. Stargate saying the whole aura surrounding the Lakers is a huge turnoff. Yeah, I mean, I want to like Luka, but in some ways he's way less likable in purple and gold than in a Dallas uniform. He's way less likable to me. Fiercely saying, I'm bored as basketball season also done for my daughter. She just does individual reps with her coach. But looking forward to WNBA draft on Sunday. There you go. Fiercely do your homework, get your cheat sheet, and be ready. 9:45 is when the draft will start. Of course, the stream will start at 9:30. Our WNBA fantasy draft this Sunday on the Sunday Special Report. Come on in and see the fun as we draft our WNBA teams. And like I said, we're still looking for one more team to play to join the 10-person league. And we get one more team, we'll be good. We'll be good. Yeah. I guess, yeah, your season's over since the provincials with your daughter. Yeah. Fiercely saying throw up is the equal of the Lakers' aura is bleh. Yeah. SGA's aura is fire, though. There you go. Pierre lost his riding, right? Yeah, he did. That's what I'm hearing. He's projected to lose his riding, and he will not be a member of parliament after this. So he really lost. This dude dropped like crazy. This is what you get for being a little hateful little piece of shit. You want to be rude and talk over people at the debate? Well, Canadians are polite, and that shit may go over in the United States. Oh, he's a tough guy. He's rude. He talks over people like Trump did. Well, people could see you for who you are in this country, Pierre, as a little weasel, a person not to be trusted, a person who's rude, a person who's hateful. And in some ways, Canadians don't want to be hateful. Our natural proclivity is to be friendly, nice, and very polite. And, being hateful and trying to mimic Trump and the way he does things, it just doesn't go over up here, especially since we see what a train wreck Trump is. We'd be dumbasses to follow in the footsteps of the Americans in their election last year and elect an idiot like Pierre Poilievre. So good job, Canada. We've shown that we have an IQ that's higher than the average Americans. American IQ is very low right now, obviously, and they want that because they want to hurt education and make people stupider so they're easier to control. Canadian education system's better. Canadians are smarter on average. And, well, we showed that in our federal election last night. That's just the damn truth right there. That's it right there. Wayne's here. Morning, Raptor Freaks. Pierre Poilievre lost and is refusing to leave. He's gotten used to living off taxpayers' money at Stormway, biggest freeloader. Yeah, whatever. He can say whatever he wants, but he lost, and you're done. You're out of here, motherfucker. That's right. All right, let me get the rundown. Once again, I did a ref trivia today. Earth Zone is a great product, Canadian product. Y'all buy that. The boys are back in town. That's what's going on with Scotty and them. No birthdays today, guys. Sorry about that. So let's get out of here. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream. I'll be back tomorrow with a Wow Wednesday. We'll see what I'm wowing about on Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Regular Raptor Freak stream time. If you guys are around this afternoon, I might be in the office hours on the Raptor Freaks Discord. So if you want to hang out and talk a little bit with me, I may be in there talk. Listen, if you see me online, if you see me, you guys can message me directly and say, hey, Lex, you want to talk? I may be away and doing something around the house or out in the yard. But if you guys ever want to get social in your own time, and I'm on the site on Discord, you can see my name in there. I am available if I'm around on that. All you need to do is direct message me or just jump in the voice channel if I'm in there already and say, hey, Lex, what's up? Let's just talk. You want to talk about whatever, basketball, life, wrestling, whatever. I'm in there. And you guys can hang out with me. So don't be afraid to say hi if you do see me on the Discord server, because that's why I'm there, is to hang out. And if you guys want to talk any kind of stuff, I'm there to talk. All right. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and join the channel. If you join, you get access to that Discord server I just talked about. All right, let's go Raptors, let's go Tempo, and let's go Canada. I'm really proud of my country. I'm really proud of the people of Canada. And in some ways, we are going to stand strong and free, and we're going to do what we've got to do right as a country together. Because in some ways, look, cooler heads prevail. They want to divide us. But once again, the one thing that we all have in common here when we voted for this election is we're Canadians. And that doesn't matter where we're from originally. That doesn't matter where we're born. That doesn't matter what walk of life or who we are. We're all Canadians, and we share that. And that's what's important to focus on, this unity of us and not the division and what we're different. Yeah. Chriscom saying, you're excited about Carney? Oh, yeah. I voted for Carney very gladly, Chriscom. And I hope you did too, man. It's not that I'm excited. I'm relieved. And I'm also happy about the potential. We'll have to see. I mean, I'll be fair about it. If he's fucking things up or if he's doing weird things or stuff like that, I will call him out on it. But for the most part, I want to give him a chance. And I like everything he's been saying on the campaign trail. We know politicians lie and sometimes don't follow through with what they're going to say. But I feel like I can trust him. I feel like he's the kind of person that will come through with most of the stuff he's saying. Hopefully, we'll have to see. What do I like about him over Paul Revere? Oh, amazing. Tons of things. There's so many things that are much better than him, than Paul Revere. Paul Revere's a little shit. He's a liar. He's a hateful person. He's trying to come after immigrants. He's kind of come after the CBC. He's trying to come after our health care. Oh, there's so many different differences between Carney and Paul Revere. Paul Revere was the worst possible candidate we could have voted for, and thank God he lost. So, Chris Cummings, if you fell in the rabbit hole of believing Paul Revere's lies and thinking he was the best choice for Canada, I feel bad for you. So just turn off the bullshit, whatever you were getting that information from, and realize the right thing happened yesterday, even if you don't think so. So yeah, that's what I'll say about that. All right, I'm getting out of here, Criscom. I did my exit, and you're asking me if I like Carney. Yeah, I do. I'm happy that he won. I'll give him a chance. I'm an NDP normally, but I voted Liberal because I knew that was the right choice to fight off the PC government, which is a piece of shit, horrible fucking idea in all kinds of different ways. There's a reason why the PC keep losing, and it's partly because their whole platform is based on hate and has no real solutions. So there you go, Criscom. That's my unfiltered opinion. And if you disagree with me, man, it's like, no, I'm good. As a man, I own choice. You own your choice. So you voted for Paul Revere? I'm disappointed in that. You're the Craig Criscom. You should be able to predict the right stuff. You didn't on this one, if you did. If you did vote for Carney, I appreciate you then. All right, how about that? Let's go, Raptors. Let's go, Canada.